All natural and freaky fresh.
How embarrassing.
No kidding. It's a good thing I got to you before your first delivery.
Yeah, well, I already spread the word, sir, and...
Naked?
Oh, no.
He's what? Naked?
Naked.
He's naked.
Save more with Liberty Mutual Insurance.
Hey, what are you doing up here on the roof?
I want to tell the world I just met the woman of my dreams. What about you?
I want to tell the world that Liberty Mutual saved me $782.
Liberty did what?
They saved me $782.
Oh, you go first then. $782 really puts finding love into perspective.
Visit us online to get a quote, and you could save $782. Liberty Mutual Insurance. Based on a recent countrywide new customer survey, coverage is underwritten by Liberty Mutual Insurance Company, Equal Housing Insurer.
My 84 MPGE Pacifica Hybrid is America's first ever hybrid minivan, so all the other moms at soccer practice are green with envy. See what I did there? Plus, I can binge all of my shows with the available Uconnect Theater or just jam out to the radio.
Hey, Mom, what was that song?
Huh? What song?
Chrysler Pacifica Hybrid. It's loaded with attitude. Actual mileage varies. EPA estimated miles per gallon of gasoline equivalent MPGE based on available competitive information.
5:10 on AM 560. It's time for a dry basement and a healthy home. It's time to call Permaseal, 800-421-SEAL. And time to check the roads. We do that in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. And welcome in Jim Talamonte. Good morning, Jim.
Good morning, Mike. Mentioned that fire at the recycling center burning off Harlem Avenue north of the Stevenson. We're told this may be visible from the Stevenson, so this could cause some gapers delays. Though right now things look fine on the Stevenson Expressway. There had been some outbound delays near LaGrange Road due to overnight work. That has cleared, and traffic now moves well through that area. Northbound Veterans Memorial Tollway at Army Trail, the off-ramp has reopened after an overnight closure. Kennedy, the express lanes are set to open inbound. And in Highland Park, southbound 41 between Clavey and Lake Cook, left lane is blocked. I believe it's our first pavement buckle of the season. Traffic service of Lowe's. Pro customers at Lowe's save 5% every day when you use your Lowe's business credit account. That's 5% on all purchases in-store or online. Subject to credit approval, U.S. only. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte, AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer starts next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. From the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center, here's our meteorologist, Alex Rabb.
Mostly cloudy, increasingly windy today with a shower or thunderstorm around and a high of 80. And tonight's considerably cloudy, breezy, and warm with a strong thunderstorm in the area earlier, followed by heavy thunderstorms late, low of 65. I'm Alexandra Rabb on AM 560, The Answer.
72 at O'Hare. Realize that we went the whole month of April without a thunderstorm. First time that's happened in 60 years. Next news update is at 5:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy starts now on AM 560, The Answer.
Build business with Chamber 630, one of the largest business organizations in DuPage County. Marketing your business and connecting clients is their priority. Visit chamber630.com or call 630-968-4050 to join today.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy, and
welcome back.
Thank you so much. I feel like I broke into prison.
What do you mean?
Back to being back in Chicago, back in Illinois. It's great. No, I mean, it's great to be back.
Yeah.
I hated the lifestyle of the rich and famous in Riviera Maya and Naples. This is so much better.
This is so much. Hey, at least it's warm here. At least you can still play golf today.
Yeah, and speaking of golf, hey.
Oh, hey.
We're promoting our annual golf outing at Bolingbrook Golf Club all morning this morning. Again, the beneficiary, like it was last year, 100 Club of Chicago. We'll have Joe Ahern on the show this morning to talk about that. At 100 Club of Chicago, of course, serves and supports and helps with the financial challenges of families of Chicago and Chicagoland area police officers and firefighters who have a family member killed in the line of duty.
Yeah, and benefits go to surviving spouses, their dependents. They even support the children. Think of Commander Bauer. I mean, He was gunned down, shot 6 times in a stairwell outside the Thompson Center. Has a lovely daughter, a wife that's left behind, but you can, rest assured that they're being taken care of because of the 100 Club, and they need your help. So this is what we're asking for today. Sign up a foursome for $1,196. Now, proceeds go to benefit the 100 Club of Chicago. You also get a great day of golf with us, but also, too, we'll give you 25 60-second commercials. Of course, if you own a business or something you want to promote, or marketing director, we'll give you 25 60-second commercials that will air right here on AM 560 Monday through Sunday. It's a value of more than $3,000 in advertising. Yours for only $1,196.
And you can purchase one of the elite foursomes to play with me, to play with you, or to play with Walsh. That's for $2,000, and one of the three of us, the appropriate one, given the purchase, will record the commercial.
I've been taken.
So have I.
Oh, you have?
Yeah.
You weren't taken as of yesterday. I was the only one on the board.
Yeah, well.
You can put it on the board.
Mike Sakoff informed me this morning when I came in that I am off the board. Obviously, they got word back of my performance in Riviera Maya, and they wanted to have the experience that our friends Garrett Vespo and Dr. Jim McShane and Bob Gottfried had of watching me throw clubs for 4 hours. And so that's what you're going to get. Though the Dean Mattis, I think, is the gentleman's name who bought my.
Oh, I'll investigate who this person is. If you want to become a business benefactor, sign up for the tournament. Call this number. We're going to be pounding this all morning long. 312-363-6680. That's 312-363-6680. Operators are standing by.
Yeah, meaning Mike Sakoff.
Mike Sakoff.
Yeah. He's manning the phones.
Yeah.
And again, the Bolingbrook Golf Club, which is a good track. I mean, it should be. It's taxpayer financed. Oh, boy.
Hey-oh. Isn't that Roger Clare's satellite office?
Yeah, well,
on the second floor?
Yeah. I mean,
why not?
Satellite, sort of more like the mothership. But, yeah.
It's a beautiful golf course.
It's a good track.
Not to mention it's challenging, which makes it a good track.
And that's Thursday, June 14th is the outing.
Oh, yeah, we should have said that. Thursday, June 14th. The foursomes are $1,196. With that, proceeds go to benefit the 100 Club of Chicago, and we will give you 25 60-second commercials to promote your business at AM 560 here on Monday through Sunday. We don't stick you on the weekends on Saturdays. We'll put you in prime time Monday through Sunday.
Shotgun starts, by the way, for the golfers who are interested in the format. 7:30 morning shotgun, 2:30 afternoon shotgun. You choose. Obviously, if you're golfing with me or Amy,
you're going to be.
That's going to be in the afternoon.
2:30 shotgun.
2:30 shotgun. You get in about midnight. So it's a pretty quick turn.
No, we normally get in at about 7:30. We get in before the sun goes down.
Barely.
But it's a close call.
Yeah. All right. So that's the golf outing. We'll be talking to Joe Ahern, and I thought that being gone for 10 days, I'd be rid of Comey. Comey would be in my rearview mirror, and I thought wrong. So we'll pick up Jim Comey after this.
Purchase a foursome for AM 560's annual golf outing today to benefit the 100 Club of Chicago. Call 312-363-6680 or go online to 560theanswer.com/golf.
It's a warm one. We can talk about golf because it feels like golf weather. It's going to be cloudy today, but we do have a chance of an afternoon shower or a heavy thunderstorm late this afternoon. A high of 82 degrees. Then tonight, a heavy thunderstorm, and tomorrow, a couple of showers. A high of 73 degrees. Let's get into the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Hello, Jim Talamonte.
Well, good morning, Amy. Good morning, Dan. Welcome back. Highland Park got a pavement buckle with this heat. Southbound 41 south of Clavey, but before Lake Cook, left lane is blocked there due to that pavement buckle. And there's a fire in Forest View, a big one at a recycling center. It's been going on since last night. This is affecting Harlem Avenue north of the Stevenson, and we've been told at times this is visible from the Stevenson. At the moment, we see no Gapers delay on the Stevenson itself. Stevenson is delay-free for now. So is the Ryan. Inbound Bishop Ford, just a little congested approaching the Ryan. The outbound Ryan does have road work. 87th to split in the 3 left lanes. The other expressways and tollways are good. At the moment, Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
Ever hire a plumber at an odd time for an emergency? The hourly rate could send you into cardiac arrest. It'd be nice to have someone on call 24/7 for those once every few year emergencies, but probably not necessary. Now, your business is IT? That's a completely different story. The potential for problems if your IT system isn't properly maintained could be more than those once every few year plumbing backups. For peace of mind, turn to Turnkey IT. Their monthly support contracts will keep your business's computer systems online and running well. No more waiting for an hourly IT tech to get back to you and charging you an enormous after-hours rate. The certified pros at Turnkey will keep your business's computer system online with unlimited on-site and remote support. And for a limited time, you can save up to $500 a month on a support contract, plus unlimited cloud backup at no cost. Get the secure feeling your business backbone is supported by Turnkey IT.
Leave the technical stuff to the pros so you can focus on the important things. Visit turnkey.pro today. Turnkey.pro.
What I suffer from is anxiety, along with depression. But I feel the anxiety triggers depression more times than not. My first experience with HPR was my initial interview. It was welcoming. It felt very good. I saw results pretty much immediately. Even after my first treatment, I felt different than when I came in. I think HPR could work for pretty much anyone. I think that what HPR has done for me was awaken a part of my brain that either stopped working or never worked. I think everybody can benefit from HPR. I'm Alex, and HPR Treatments has helped save my life.
HPR centers in Chicagoland and Milwaukee offer TMS therapy. In just a few weeks, you can change your life, and it's FDA cleared. It's covered by most insurance, including Blue Cross, Blue Shield, and Medicare. Cure or remission. Get a free consultation. 800-604-0208. 800-604-0208. HPR Centers. Go to endmydepression.com.
Looking to refinance your home? Then you need to call Team Hochberg. Sally's heard hundreds of Team Hochberg's ads, so naturally she called the nation's largest online lender obsessed with their Rocket because she saw their ad pumping gas. Bad move. The Rocket-loving lender quoted Sally a rate higher than us and closing costs $6,000 more than Team Hochberg's. We explained the exorbitant closing costs and refinanced Sally into a lower rate and credited all of her closing costs. Team Hochberg doesn't have a Rocket, but we have lower rates and substantially lower closing costs than the nation's largest online Rocket-loving lender. You could call the nation's largest online lender who spends millions promoting their Rocket by charging excessive closing costs, or you could call Team Hochberg at 312-751-1333 or visit am560david.com. Team Hochberg has helped thousands of AM560 listeners, but we can't help if you don't call 312-751-1333 or visit am560david.com. Pearl Mortgage, an equal housing lender, Illinois residential mortgage licensee 4358 and MLS 19186.
Okay, from the start.
Acerola cherry.
Alfalfa leaf, aloe vera, apples, asparagus, banana.
Beets, bell pepper, broccoli. Blueberries, blackberries, cranberry.
I make my Texas superfood from 55 raw, vine-ripened fruits and vegetables.
Mangosteen.
Pineapple, sweet potato.
Papaya, parsley, peach.
You can see all 55 on TexasSuperfood.com.
Raspberry, spinach, all of the nutrients that we need on a daily basis.
You know, it's been barely a week, and already my skin is better.
I lost 60 pounds. I mean, that's huge. Since I've been on Superfood, I haven't been sick.
I'm Dennis Black, here in Dallas, Texas. Wouldn't you rather be healthy, energetic, and fit?
It's borderline shocking how much energy I have.
Join us on TexasSuperfood.com.
TexasSuperfood.com.
Or call 877-55-TEXAS. That's 877-55-TEXAS. 877-55-TEXAS. Or
TexasSuperfood.com.
AM 560. The Answer.
Dan and Amy, good morning. And
how was your bromance? How's your mancation?
It was
Real
nice.
quick.
It was nice.
You're cheating on me. You were with Sean and I was with Bruce.
Late night walks on the beach, sand castles.
Sushi.
Yeah, it was nice. You know, nice.
Not, did you guys spoon
Cutesy.
and watch beaches together?
No, we didn't have time.
Oh, okay.
It was an active vacation.
Oh, you. How much did you golf? 72 holes a day?
No, I just played once. Played terrible. No.
Well, your golf game will get better. Especially with your tournament coming up, so it better get better.
I don't think so at my age. I think this is...
What, did you Ron Majors yourself and just throw your clubs in the pond? Because he did that once, and he never picked up a golf club again.
I have not done that, though the thought is constantly in my mind, even when I'm not playing golf.
Oh,
I'm
really?
thinking about going home and taking them and throwing them in a pond.
Throw them in Lake
It
Michigan.
lingers, is my point. Speaking of lingering, Jim Comey still making the rounds.
Like that herpetic sore that won't go away.
Yeah, I know. I didn't have the chance. Well, you didn't either because you weren't back till Monday to pour over the Brett Barrett interview from last week. And
I watched a little bit of it, and I found out he had a diary like a high school girl.
yeah, like he's
Yeah,
got
he
like
had a little side
a
thing.
little Hello Kitty diary.
Yeah, with
you
a
know.
little lock and the wonder where he puts the key.
Right.
Yeah.
Joni wouldn't let me sit with her at lunch today. What's wrong? What happened to us? We used to be so close. And other musings, Jim Comey musings. Also, this question, which has been asked before, but the follow-up is interesting here. Did you want Hillary Clinton to win the election? The follow-up, what would have happened? Where would you be if she had? Get a load of Jim Comey.
What would your life be like if she'd won? I also don't know the answer to that. I think I would still be the FBI director. And the reason I say that is, someone asked me to compare the two, and it's too hard for me to compare the two, except Secretary Clinton is someone deeply enmeshed in the rule of law, respect for institutions, a lawyer. And so given that background, I'm reasonably confident that even though she was unhappy with decisions the FBI had made, she would not fire the FBI director as a result.
Hillary Clinton is somebody deeply enmeshed in the rule of law, respect for institutions. Is that the Hillary Clinton you recall so fondly? 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line, 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line. Is he talking about the Hillary Clinton that was at the Rose Law Firm in Little Rock? Is he talking about the Hillary Clinton that, whistled Sandy Berger in to take classified information out of the White House FBI dossiers? Is
she the Hillary Clinton that had a secured email?
Yes, the private server in the closet. Right? Is she the Hillary Clinton who, along with her husband, was profiled in such detail by Peter Schweitzer and Clinton Cash, leveraging her office as Secretary of State to enrich herself and her phony baloney foundation? That Hillary Clinton? That's the one with respect for institutions, enmeshed in the rule of law. That's fascinating.
It's comical, actually.
And it reminds me of the question that Jim Comey hasn't been asked. I don't think. I don't know. I haven't. I was on vacation from Jim Comey too.
Yes.
But
and Stormy Daniels.
Yeah. But if it was so bad, and Trump is morally unfit for office, then why'd you stay? Why'd you quit? Why are you upset about getting ash canned? He'll give one of those fork-tongued Comey answers about, well, he's even more important because he was morally unfit. It's even more important that Jim Comey, the vanguard of truth, justice, the American way, was still the head of the FBI. But we know that's nonsense. Comey is incredible. By the way, a great Andy McCarthy column, if the gentleman who filled in for us didn't get to it last week, about how Comey confirmed in the Brett Barrett interview that the fix was in for the Hillary email investigation. Confirmed it. He knew, as McCarthy writes, that Obama's Justice Department would sweep Hillary's violations under the rug, so he played along. There's the moral standard, the moral example set by Jim Comey, Mr. enmeshed in the rule of law. Oh, well, if the Justice Department and the president want to just let her have a pass because she's going to be the Democrat nominee for president, or she is the Democrat nominee for president ultimately, then, I'll play along because I'm a political animal just like them. My standards change, my principles change when my interests do. Also, McCarthy does a nice job of decimating his argument that those documents he leaked to that Columbia law professor were his personal property and not the government's property. I mean, it's an absurd argument. It's an embarrassing argument for an officer of the court, as Jim Comey incredibly is, just like Hillary Clinton incredibly is, to make it.
Well, doesn't
but that's
he
Jim Comey.
Right, but isn't he the one who decides what is classified and what is not classified?
Jim Comey doesn't. It's not Jim Comey's call.
So he said it was
it's not a one-man band.
and just
The agencies from which the the information emanates, make those determinations. Yeah. Jim Comey, boy, I know it's not likely that there'll be a prosecution that you can make out a case, but I'll tell you what, the case against Jim Comey is as strong or weak, depending on your perspective, as the case presented against the President of the United States to this point.
He's got a good attorney, though. Patrick Fitzgerald, he hired as his personal attorney.
Yeah.
In case there is charges.
Right. Perfect. Fresh off his Scooter Libby pardon, Patrick Fitzgerald. Love to get him on to talk about that case. Let's go over the details of that Scooter Libby prosecution, much like the details of so many of Jim Comey's prosecutions and Bob Mueller's prosecutions. The infallible men that stand between us and anarchy, they would have you believe. Nonsense.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer, slavery, a choice, and what's up, Doc? Trump's doctor claims his office was raided. We'll tell you why. But first, into the newsroom we go. Here's Mike Scott.
71 degrees and some threatening weather on the horizon. 7 states are suing the federal government over the DACA program.
Basically ordered the stopping of the rescinding of DACA, and actually ordered the continuation not only of renewals, but adding new people to the DACA program.
That's Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton announcing the suit yesterday, saying the issue is really with judges in California, New York, and Washington, D.C., who previously ruled on DACA. Paxton says he doesn't want the feds to revoke any DACA permits, just end the practice of handing them out. A new report claims the special counsel in the Russia investigation raised the possibility of issuing a subpoena for President Trump if he doesn't volunteer to talk to investigators. Special counsel Robert Mueller issued that warning apparently during a meeting with the president's lawyers in March. The president says the exact location and date of his planned meeting with North Korean leader Kim Jong-un will probably be announced in the next couple of days.
We're setting up meetings right now, and I think it's probably going to be announced over the next couple of days, location and date.
South Korean leaders say it will happen in, around, or on the DMZ between North and South Korea. Meantime, at the Oval Office, the president thanks South Korean President Moon Jae-in for suggesting that he should get a Nobel Peace Prize. U.S. troops, by the way, will stay in South Korea regardless of whether Seoul officially ends the Korean War with the North. Nearly 30,000 American soldiers are in South Korea as part of an agreement after the shooting stopped in 1953. South Korea says the American presence is a wholly separate issue. A U.S. judge ordering Iran to pay billions of dollars to family members of over 1,000 9/11 victims. ABC News says the default judgment issued yesterday by a federal judge found the Islamic Republic of Iran and the Revolutionary Guard, along with the Central Bank of Iran, liable for the deaths of over 1,000 people in the 9/11 attacks. High school students who back the Second Amendment are staging a massive walkout today. Students in 40 states are expected to participate in the nationwide event called Stand for the Second, walking out of class for 16 minutes. People in a small Nebraska town this morning sifting through the damage from a tornado that touched down about 2 hours ago just west of Omaha. Tornadoes were reported yesterday in parts of Nebraska and Kansas as severe weather began marching through the central U.S. Crews continue battling a fire at a recycling center in Forest View. Rubbish blaze breaking out last night at the Lakeshore Recycling Systems along the canal close to I-55. No one hurt after several brush fires broke out in Alsip. Blazes began yesterday after forecasters warned of weather conditions, red flag warnings that could lead to dangerous fires. And officials say the number of students from a Chicago area high school who became sick after a recent prom at the Shedd Aquarium is now at 111. Wednesday morning total, this morning's total, higher than the 90 on Monday from Andrew High School. Chicago sports, Rockies over the Cubs, 3-1 at Wrigley. Cardinals beat the White Sox in comeback fashion at Busch, 3-2. The news service of Napa. This month, at participating Napa Auto Care Centers or Napa Auto Parts stores, You'll get a $50 Visa prepaid card by mail when you spend $250 on Napa brakes. Quality parts, helpful people. That's Napa know-how. Some exclusions apply. Offer expires 5/31/18. 5:34 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Mike Gallagher loves the hypocrisy of the left.
This bastion of progressivism, Starbucks, where people who sit around for hours upon hours. You're going to tell me two black guys can't sit at a table without being bothered? And I love every bit of the consequences that pretentious, overpriced place is now having to pay.
The Mike Gallagher Show. Weekdays at 9, right before Dennis Prager at 11 on AM 560. The Answer.
Get your truly free credit score and free credit monitoring from Credit Karma. Download the Credit Karma app today. Credit Karma. Get knowing.
Do you want your basement to be dry most of the time? If so, Permaseal is not the company for you. At Permaseal, we believe your basement should be dry all the time, no matter how hard it rains. Hi, I'm Roy Spencer, president of Permaseal. I hear story after story of homeowners who say their basement only leaks when it rains. Well, you don't worry about your living room or bedroom getting wet when it rains, and you should feel the same way about your basement. Just call 800-421-SEAL. We offer a free estimate, no haggle pricing, and a price assurance guarantee, so you can rest assured that you're getting the best value. Your basement is already dry most of the time, but if you want your basement dry all the time, you know who to call. 800-421-SEAL. Permaseal has earned an A+ rating from the BBB and has received their 2016 Torch Award for Marketplace Ethics. That's 800-421-SEAL or visit permaseal.net.
Known best for being better, Permaseal.
5:36 and a check of your early morning roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. In Highland Park, southbound 41, south of Clavey, before Lake Cook. Left lane's blocked with a pavement buckle. See delays on the inbound Stevenson from Harlem to Central and Ashland to the Ryan. It's 37 minutes, 3:55 to Lakeshore Drive. Outbound fine at 34. Edens, Kennedy, the Eisenhower still okay as traffic gets heavier for the rush. On Ryan, 20 minutes, 95th to downtown. I-57 still clear. Bishop Ford, you've got a 5-minute delay from 111th to the Verge. Tollways are good, northwest Indiana as well. Traffic, service of Lowe's. Pro customers at Lowe's save 5% every day when you use your Lowe's business credit account. That's 5% on all purchases in-store or online. Subject to credit approval, U.S. only. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte, AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1-hour heating and air conditioning weather center. Cloudy and breezy. An afternoon shower or heavy thunderstorm, a high of 82. Currently 71. Your next news update is at 6. Continuous news coverage at 560theanswer.com. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by St. John's Northwestern Military Academy. More info online at sjnma.org.
Hey, Joe Walsh here. You know what? Trump is a much better president when he focuses on being a president. We'll talk about that when Freedom returns at 5.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. And, hey, this is so taxing to have to talk about Kanye West. Before we even get to this TMZ contretemps, let me just make a note here. It's the same note I made many moons ago about that Tomi Lahren girl. And I do say girl.
Young lady.
Conservatives so fast, so desirous to embrace somebody that runs counter to the caricature of the left that there's not much quality control. So Kanye West tweets out something positive about Trump, and everybody wants to rush to embrace, this marginal personality called Kanye West.
Well, the Democrats are distancing themselves. Maxine Waters said he should shut up. So the Democrats are questioning his mental stability because he is actually friends with somebody who happens to be a Republican president of the United States.
Yeah, but they didn't question his mental stability before for the last decade of his antics. And those who are now the beneficiaries of his celebrity, I guess, like Trump, and by extension Trump supporters, should exercise restraint. Everything that glitters is not gold. Everything that glitters will fade away, to borrow a line from a Fuel song. So this is this, it's great. You want to give room for people to come over to your side. But this idea that we're going to elevate Kanye West as some kind of spokesman for anything political, don't do it. You shouldn't have done it with Tomi Lahren, and neither should Fox News. I know where she's a contributor now and stuff. Nice, I'm sure she's a nice girl. Doesn't know anything. Is repeating surface skimming talking points. Not that a lot of other pundits don't do it as well, but it shouldn't be celebrated. Kanye West isn't even in that category. Kanye West is just a hot mess.
Well, he does have issues with drugs and alcohol, which he's trying to, rein in. But he paid a visit yesterday to TMZ's newsroom to explain how he came to tweet his political thoughts and his views.
Well, it was really just my subconscious. It was a feeling I had, people were taught how to think, we're taught how to feel. We don't know how to think for ourselves. We don't know how to feel for ourselves. People say feel free, but they don't really want us to feel free. And I felt a freedom in, first of all, just doing something that everybody tells you not to do. I just love Trump. That's my boy. It's like so many rappers. You'll look at a video of Snoop Dogg loving Trump, but then he get in the office and now they don't love him. Like, Trump is one of rap's favorite people, right?
But we talk about this, that before he was elected president, people in hip-hop, it was an in thing to put Donald Trump in your rhyme somewhere.
And by the way, I am in hip-hop, but I'm not just in hip-hop. I'm a black person in the black community, but I'm not just that. I feel like one thing is people try to minimize me to artists, hip-hop, black community. Yeah, I'm always going to represent that, but I also represent the world.
Yeah, don't pigeonhole him. He's so much more than
he's
just a hip-hop. But what's making the news this morning is what he said then.
Well,
about,
first of all, he should be limited to the world. I would say he's galactic. At least the Milky Way.
And here's the water cooler conversation everyone's going to be having today.
When you hear about slavery for 400 years, that sounds like a choice. Like, you was there for 400 years and it's all of y'all? It's like we're mentally in prison. I like the word prison because slavery goes too direct to the idea of blacks. It's like slavery, Holocaust Jews, slavery is blacks. So prison is something that unites us as one race, blacks and whites being one race, that we're the human race.
So for the last 60 seconds of Kanye West commentary that you've heard now, would anybody like to disagree with my thesis to exercise restraint when it comes to embracing Kanye West? Don't elevate Kanye West just because he tweeted out something positive about Trump, because I'll try to guess what he's trying to say, but it's difficult because he doesn't know what he's trying to say.
I mean, I honestly think he's off his meds right now.
What are his meds?
Well, he had a mental breakdown, remember, and then he was, went into the clinic for 34 days again.
It's all the pressure representing the world.
Well, he's got to hang out with the Kardashians. I mean, please.
So I'll hazard a guess, since I feel compelled to talk about this guy, much to my chagrin. He's talking about we have to deal with what he said. We have to deal with the marginalization that has come from the 400 years of slavery that you said for our people was a choice. This is the response from TMZ, the dimwit that he's going back and forth with at TMZ. That's what he said. What Kanye, in response to him, that was his reaction, which is the reaction that is virtually universal, but not exactly mine. You hear about 400 years of slavery, Kanye. You hear about slavery for 400 years. That sound like a choice. Sounds like a choice. Sick. That sound like a choice. I'm going to give Kanye the benefit of the doubt.
Okay.
And there's no reason to do this.
All right. Why? What?
I'm going to say that you talked about the freedom to embrace Trump publicly because you're not supposed to do that in his circles. And I'm going to suggest, and I have no idea if this is true,
Okay.
that what he is attempting to communicate is that we are not slaves anymore. We are free people. The history of slavery is not in dispute, but why should I have to comply to a particular orthodoxy? Why can't I say something that I believe is true? Or why can't I offer my preference for something or my opinion on someone? I'm a free man. We're free people. So I don't think he's saying 400 years of slave. I'll suggest what I hope he was thinking. I don't think he's saying 400 years of slavery was a choice. I think he's saying it's a choice to live under the construct that we're still slaves, and we're not. That would be
very well put.
Well, that would be my hopeful interpretation of what he was trying to say, and it's probably 180 degrees wrong.
But the problem is, I mean, he's in a position of power, and he influences young minds. Kanye West does.
Such as they are.
Yeah, well, so, when he makes this insidious, this stupid statement that, slavery is a choice, regardless of what the interpretation or what he really meant to say, it doesn't really help. And I think he's embarrassing himself. And I just hope President Trump doesn't respond at all to what Kanye said. Stay away from it.
Are we embarrassing ourselves, those young people over which he exercises so much alleged influence, as well as the old people that talk about what he said and what influence he has over the young people? Are we embarrassing ourselves when we elevate him to include in serious dialogue, serious conversation?
Well, the right seemed to embrace him last week when he said...
Well, I know, that was a mistake.
Right, yeah.
That's my point. Are we embarrassing ourselves? So we have such an appetite to say, look, there are people that aren't, working class whites in West Virginia or country club types that populate the leadership posts in the party, at least in D.C., that are also saying the same thing I'm saying. And so it is broader than just, your skin color or your gender or your religious affiliation and so forth. We so want that to be, but then we're playing the same identity politics that the left plays, and it's a dead end. Don't do it. Embrace people based on, to borrow a phrase, the content of their character, their behavior, the quality of what they have to say. In this case, the tale, not the teller. And a little bit of the teller, too. The quality of what they have to say and the quality of who's saying it. It's just, you're always going to be on so much more solid footing than running to embrace Kanye West. And I know that's what the Twitterverse and Facebook and social media is all about these days, and all these idiotic celebrity shows. And the idea that a conversation between some fungible Harvey, what's his name? Harvey Milk? Harvey Weinstein? Harvey Firestein? What's his name?
Harvey, come on.
Harvey Korman? What's the guy at TMZ?
Come on, Harvey Levin.
Oh, yeah.
Harvey Levin.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, he worked at Channel 2 here.
He's a genius. The idea that clown and one of his fungible castmates and Kanye West should be so influential in our politics says a lot about our politics. Dan in Libertyville, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Welcome back, Dan.
Thank you.
But I've got to say, you went on vacation. You're not back in sync. You're just not picking up what Kanye's laying down, man. You got to get down with the dude and understand his lingo.
Okay.
It's not easy for us older people to follow. You need a younger millennial to explain it to you.
Yeah. All right. Thanks for this. I'm going to call Tommy Lahren and have her explain Kanye to me. Ken in Plainfield.
Hey, Dan, and answer your question, we are embarrassing ourselves by paying attention to any celebrity. I couldn't care less what Kanye West thinks or Bruce Springsteen or the Dixie Chicks or anybody. I enjoy their music or I enjoy their movies, and that's it. Their opinion to me isn't any more valuable than my opinion.
Yeah, in many cases less valuable. And remember who we're talking about as a class, the celebrity class, the celebutantes in particular. you can like or dislike Kanye's work, but it has gotten a lot of critical acclaim. Okay, fine, I grant him that. He's obviously talented. But
he started out banging buckets outside the United Center. I mean, he's a Chicagoan.
Yeah, well, okay.
Right.
But so I'll concede the point. Most of these people are like barely high school educated. Not that education is the be all end all for quality of thinking. Obviously, it isn't. Look who's the college professor it is. But I mean, we should see. It's just this fallacy: rich people, famous people, smart people. Smart people can't be diabolical. Rich people, are good at everything they do. They know everything because they're rich. They made money in one thing, so they know everything about everything. The fallacies we cling to, so problematic. Thanks, Ken.
Today is 100 Club of Chicago Day on AM 560. Purchase a foursome to AM 560's golf outing to benefit the 100 Club of Chicago. Call 312-363-6680 or visit 560theanswer.com/golf.
Every business needs great people, and the better way to find them. Something better than posting your job online and just praying for the right people to see it. ZipRecruiter revolutionized hiring. Their technology finds great candidates for you. No wonder 80% of employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site in just one day. Goodbye post and pray. Hello ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
Try it for free today at ZipRecruiter.com/talkradio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/talkradio.
Ed, get in here and shut the door.
What's up, boss?
What's up? You have to ask, Ed?
Yes, sir, usually, sir.
Ed, you're naked as a jaybird.
Correctamundo, sir, just as you ordered.
I what?
You told us Jimmy John's was going on natural, sir.
No, Ed, I told you our meats are now all natural.
Huh?
That's meats, Ed, not employees.
Oh, I get it now. It's our meats that are all natural.
Yes, Ed. Wood smoked ham, choice roast beef, real fresh turkey breast, all natural and freaky fresh.
How embarrassing.
No kidding. It's a good thing I got to you before your first delivery.
Yeah, well, I already spread the word, sir, and...
Naked? Oh, no.
He's what? Naked?
Naked. He's naked.
Text from 630 regarding Kanye. From my perspective, disaster, but not everyone is a political junkie. His common parlance speaks to the masses better than Jonah Goldberg can. Well, I mean, he may have a point. By the way, I haven't read his book yet, but excerpt from Jonah Goldberg's new book, very troubling. So we're going to have to get him on when I've read the book
what's
to have
troubling?
a conversation about.
Or is this, as they say, a tease?
He's a little off the rails, which is not surprising. I mean, he didn't see the implications of supporting marriage redefinition. So he's just a little off the rails. I think I know what he's trying to do, but we'll get to that another time. Joe in Hoffman Estates, we don't have time to take you, but his a pro-Trump black man is a good thing. Yeah, I agree. Like Dr. Ben Carson, the quality of the individual that you want to elevate to be a spokesman for somebody that you have similar fealty to, or a movement you think you're a part of, you should have standards. That's all I'm trying to communicate. Speaking of communication, upstream-ideas.com, and we have a new series called Breaking Bread that focuses on trying to broaden the reach, to build a bigger tent, if you will. Focuses on urban and minority families, but talking about the issues that are particular to urban centers like Chicago from a different perspective. So this first edition of Breaking Bread will feature Robert Blackwell, a successful African-American entrepreneur, talking about black entrepreneurship as the path out as compared to the welfare state, for example, or Democrat government, big government, large S. So Breaking Bread is a new series there to complement my 60 Seconds of Sanity, 2-minute warnings, the dollars and cents commentaries, podcast for Illinois Rising program, and then don't forget our sister site, defendhomeowners.com, defendhomeowners.com, where you get free property tax report on your home, and we also have 2017 home sales data to give you a little bit of a sense in Chicagoland area what the market value of your home is. Defendhomeowners.com for all the property tax and home value info, upstream-ideas.com for everything else.
Hey guys, Ken here from the hit podcast Today's Growth. We all know increasing revenue's tough. But did you know that 100% of main sources of income fail? The odds are 100% that your current main source of income will someday no longer exist. 439 of 1955's original Fortune 500 are no longer around, yet their industries and even their product lines still thrive. What happened to these companies? Simple. They didn't believe that 100% of main sources of income fail. They never added a second revenue model. For years, my friends at Income Store have helped both households and businesses build second, third, and even fourth revenue streams. When it comes to helping people create their next revenue model, both Forbes and Inc. recommend Income Store as a can't miss. Could your household or business use an additional revenue model that doesn't solely depend on you? If so, you need to check out IncomeStore.com. That's IncomeStore.com.
Go to IncomeStore.com today. That's IncomeStore.com.
Risk mitigation is an important consideration that smart companies pay attention to in today's complicated business climate. Some of the greatest risks occur when your company hires new employees or when you execute new business financial relationships. When your company hires, leases, or conducts financial transactions, decisions are critical. That's why veteran-owned and operated Global Verification Network is a company you should know. Startups to Fortune 100s trust Global Verification Network, and so should you. They're a background screening and investigative services company dedicated to expert, timely, and affordable background screening services for employment, tenant screening, and business due diligence. Global Verification Network is headquartered in Chicagoland, a federally recognized veteran-owned small business, and never offshores data like many competitors. To request your company's risk analysis without obligation or cost, visit mygvn.com or call 877-695-1179 or online at mygvn.com. Global Verification Network, the risk mitigation experts, 877-695-1179.
Our freedom and security are made possible through the service and sacrifice of our military and first responders. The Gary Sinise Foundation provides many outreach programs supporting these brave men and women. Join us. Donate at GarySiniseFoundation.org.
True story. So I urged one of my family members to call CertaPro Painters. He didn't do it, and that painting crew had to come back 3 times to fix their awful, sloppy mistakes, even paint on the floor, if you can believe it. Well, with CertaPro Painters, you get the best in the business. The attention to detail, color selection is truly unmatched. And now is the perfect time to get the interior of your home or business painted. The lower humidity provides an ideal environment for great coverage and quick drying times. They use fine quality paints with 0 or low VOCs, very little to no odor during application. Be an early bird and cross the first item off your 2018 to-do list. It's also the perfect time to spruce up your commercial property. Remember, each CertaPro Painter's business is independently owned and operated, so schedule your free estimate online at CertaPro.com or call 1-800-GO-CERTA. That's CERTA with the C. CertaPro Painters, we do painting, you do life.
On AM 560, The Answer, your opinion counts. And we want to know how you feel about the news stories we're talking about each and every day. Make sure to vote in the M13 Graphics Opinion Express poll at 560theanswer.com. Listen for today's poll question at 10:30 a.m., 12:30 p.m., and 3:30 p.m. and hear the results each evening at 5:30. It's the M13 Graphics Opinion Express poll on 560theanswer.com.
5:57. Let's get an update on the morning ride to work in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim.
Thanks, Mike. Kennedy inbound heavy 190 to Austin, 24 minutes. O'Hare to downtown, outbound 20. Eden still clear. About Eisenhower delays start at Wolf, 38 minutes, 390 to downtown, outbound 30. Mount Stevenson heavy already, 50 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. There's a fire off Harlem north of the Stevenson, visible from there. It's not helping. The outbound Stevenson's fine, though. Ryan, 25 minutes, 95th to the Loop. Bishop Ford, 24 minutes, 80-94 to Ryan. Eastbound Adams Tollway type for the Tri-State to the Kennedy. Traffic, service of Lowe's. Pro customers at Lowe's save 5% every day when you use your Lowe's Business Credit Account. That's 5% on all purchases in-store or online. Subject to credit approval, U.S. only. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte, AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues after a full update from Fox News and your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1-hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center. Here's our meteorologist, Alexandra Rabb.
Today is mostly cloudy, increasingly windy with a shower or thunderstorm around and a high of 80. Tonight's very cloudy, breezy, and warm with a strong thunderstorm and a low of 65. I'm Alexandra Rabb on AM 560, The Answer.
71 at O'Hare. The news, a service of Napa. This month at a participating Napa Auto Care Center or Napa Auto Parts store, you'll get $50 Visa prepaid card by mail when you spend $250 on Napa brakes. Quality parts, helpful people, that's Napa know-how. Some exclusions apply. Offer expires 5/31/18. 5:59, here are the stories we're following on AM 560. The Answer. Crews continue battling a large recycling center fire in Forest View along the canal close to I-55. No injuries reported so far at the Lakeshore Recycling Systems fire. The number of students from Andrew High School who became sick after a recent prom at the Shedd Aquarium is now 111. 3 CTA workers remain hospitalized following an explosion and fire in Chicago's Loop. They were doing electrical work near State and Lake. 2 remain hospitalized in very critical condition. United Airlines plans to resume shipping pets as cargo in July, but will ban animals such as snub-nosed dogs that face a bigger health risk. Rockies over the Cubs was Yadier Molina and the Cardinals over the White Sox. WIND, Chicago News Time is 6 o'clock.
Will President Trump have to go under oath? I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. That's the latest coming out of the Russia investigation after we learned the special counsel sent more than 50 questions for President Trump to answer.
If you had any doubt that Robert Mueller wants to question the president, we now know he is willing to go to court to make it happen. The special counsel threatening a subpoena back in a March meeting with Trump attorneys, according to the president's former lead attorney, John Dowd, who confirmed, saying at that meeting, this isn't some game. You are screwing with the work of the president of the United States.
Fox's Griff Jenkins. Some House Republicans are making a push to impeach Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein over slow response to document demands in the Russia and Hillary Clinton investigations.
There have been people who have been making threats privately and publicly against me for quite some time, and I think they should understand by now the Department of Justice is not going to be extorted.
More migrants in that caravan at the Mexican border have been allowed in to seek asylum in America. Fox's Tanya J. Powers has the update live.
Dave, 28 caravan members at the San Ysidro crossing have now been accepted for processing since Sunday. That crossing, which is the busiest in the country, usually processes about 50 asylum seekers a day, suggesting the wait will be short. The caravan first got attention when President Trump promised that his administration would try and turn the families away. Much of the rest of their fight for asylum will be out of the public's view, and that will happen in immigration courts, Dave.
And Tanya, Zachary Cruz is in trouble again. He's the brother of the gunman Nicholas, who shot up the high school in Parkland, Florida in February, killing 17 students and adults. Zachary was jailed last night for violating probation, accused of driving without a license near a school. He was ordered to stay a mile from all schools after being arrested for trespassing in March at the school his brother attacked. Fox News, fair and balanced.
On AM 560, The Answer. Your opinion counts. And we want to know how you feel about the news stories we're talking about each and every day. Make sure to vote in the M13 Graphics Opinion Express poll at 560theanswer.com. Listen for today's poll question at 10:30 a.m., 12:30 p.m., and 3:30 p.m. And hear the results each evening at 5:30. It's the M13 Graphics Opinion Express poll on 560theanswer.com.
I'm having that 6:59 feeling again.
What?
You know, that mini panic attack right before the workday starts when you're sure you've forgotten something?
Nope, that's my favorite time of day. I work with Cintas, so I always know we're ready for the workday. They handle our uniforms, fire extinguishers, first aid, safety training, floor mats, and restroom supplies.
I think I need to call Cintas.
They might just make a morning person out of you.
Oh, I'm ready!
Learn how Cintas can help you get ready for the workday. Visit Cintas.com.
When you're hiring, you don't want to waste time sorting through dozens of irrelevant resumes. You want an efficient way to get to a short list of qualified candidates. That's why you need Indeed.com. Post a job in minutes. Set up screener questions based on your job requirements. Then zero in on qualified candidates using an intuitive online dashboard. Discover why 3 million businesses use Indeed for hiring. Post a job today at Indeed.com/hire. Search for greatness. Search Indeed.
Dan Proft here, and I'm here with my guy, Ryan Kelly, at thehomeloanexpert.com. Ryan, one of the things I like about you, you're a hustler, you're a go-getter. Is it really true that you and your team will drive anywhere in Chicagoland so that your clients don't have to sit in the notorious Chicagoland traffic?
Oh, you better believe it. A mortgage is just too big of an investment, too big of a product to be done on an app or maybe through email only. And I feel that it's very important to at least get together with our clients for the application process. Meaning, if you're looking to refinance or buy a home, give us a call, 773-770-4727. That's 770-4727. Or you can always apply online at thehomeloanexpert.com. We'll gather some information. I will work you up your options, call you back. We'll review your options, compare where you are, and compare the new loan. If you say, hey, this is a great fit in what it's looking for, I'll come out and I'll meet you at your home or office. No one does that. Customer service, no one can match. Thehomeloanexpert.com. The Home Loan Expert LLC, Illinois Residential Mortgage Licensee.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Papa Nicholas Coffee. Papa Nicholas Coffee, a family tradition since 1897.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. And the question, one of the questions now with respect to this whole Bob Mueller investigation as it pertains to President Trump. Now that the word's out, according to John Dowd, that Mueller was considering subpoenaing President Trump, will he subpoena President Trump? And how should Trump respond to any such subpoena? 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line, 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line.
I think it's a perjury trap if he does sit down to discuss anything with Robert Mueller, whether he does it on his own will or if he is subpoenaed. And if he is subpoenaed, he should fight it and take it to the U.S. Supreme Court, because this is a witch hunt. I'm sure you went over these 49 questions. We went over them a little bit yesterday, but they're so broad. It just feels like a fishing expedition, that it's an actual witch hunt.
I'll tell you what, I like the fact that House Freedom Caucus is at least talking about using congressional power to fulfill their responsibilities, like providing oversight over other branches of government, say the executive branch as it pertains to the Justice Department. The judicial branch as well, with respect to, say, the FISA court. The Freedom Caucus suggesting that they may pen articles of impeachment against Rod Rosenstein, the Deputy Attorney General in charge of overseeing the Mueller special investigation, among other things. It's not so much that his oversight or lack thereof rises to high crimes and misdemeanors, but the quality of that oversight, combined with things like he, along with Christopher Wray at FBI and Jim Comey before him, stonewalling congressional committees on the release of documents to which they're entitled. Rod Rosenstein replied to this report in the context of a question from the audience at a talk he gave broadcast on C-SPAN.
The House Freedom Caucus have talked about drafting up articles of impeachment despite your best efforts to comply with their document requests.
They can't even resist leaking their own drafts.
Would you care to elaborate on that?
I saw that draft. I mean, I don't know who wrote it. It really does illustrate, though, a really important principle about the rule of law and a distinction between the way we operate in the department. And we make mistakes. That's not to say we're flawless. But the way we operate in the Department of Justice, if we're going to accuse somebody of wrongdoing, we have to have admissible evidence and credible witnesses. We need to be prepared to prove our case in court. And we have to affix our signature to the charging document. That's something that not everybody appreciates. There's a lot of talk about FISA applications. And many people that I see talking about it seem not to recognize what a FISA application is. A FISA application is actually a warrant, just like a search warrant. In order to get a FISA search warrant, you need an affidavit signed by a career federal law enforcement officer who swears that the information in the affidavit is true and correct to the best of his knowledge and belief. And that's the way we operate. And if it's wrong, sometimes it is, if you find out there's anything incorrect in there, that person is going to face consequences. Sometimes there are innocent errors, but if not, you can face discipline or potentially even prosecution. And so that's the way we operate. You know, we have people who are accountable. And so I just don't have anything to say about documents like that, that nobody has the courage to put their name on and that they leak in that way. But I can tell you, there have been people who have been making threats privately and publicly against me for quite some time. And I think they should understand by now the Department of Justice is not going to be extorted. We're going to do what's required by the rule of law, and any kind of threats that anybody makes are not going to affect the way we do our job. We have a responsibility.
Thanks for that McGruff the crime dog answer,
and
number
he kind of
one.
sounded like a televangelist, too, you know? A little bit.
Well, he his response, you know, kind of the pro forma policies and procedures response of how the Department of Justice works was the not interesting part of it. The interesting part of it is when he said the Department of Justice will not be extorted. These people are afraid to put their name on anything. Well, you just said they've been publicly, quote unquote, threatening you. So I guess they're not afraid to put their name on things. Not some of the members of the Freedom Caucus, at least, and they shouldn't be, because you're not beyond reproach, Rod Rosenstein, any more than Jim Comey is, or Bob Mueller, or Donald Trump, or anybody else in this government. And for him to characterize an effort and a frustration, an effort to do their jobs, number one, congressional oversight, and a frustration with less than compelling reasons for slow walking the production of documents to which those committees are entitled as extorting or threatening, that's great insight into Rod Rosenstein, because he's playing a little politics there, too. You come after me, then I'm going to say that you are trying to extort.
Yeah, and the DOJ cannot be extorted.
You're trying to extort that. You're accusing me of a crime. Collusion is not a crime. He's actually amping it up from what the Democrat talking about. You challenging me is extortion. Really. You're threatening me. I'm demanding you provide documents to which I'm entitled. That's a threat. That's extortion. This is the kind of hysterics we get from Maxine Waters. Rod Rosenstein may say it in a more congenial room temperature tone, but that's the same propaganda you hear from the worst of the left right there. So, you know, the honeymoon period for Rod Rosenstein, that's long over. Candace in DuPage, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Good morning, Amy and Dan. You know, the other day I ended up talking to a soldier because I like to approach him and, you know, thank him and all that. And he was an older man, and one of the things that has upset me about this administration is, of course, is some of their communications. I think it's a communication issue, and I don't understand why, with everything going on, why Trump has not gone on prime time. Because, you know, I was talking to a soldier. He doesn't know anything about this because he listens to CBS. You know, they don't have cable, they don't have Fox, and if you don't have certain channels, you're just not getting the truth. And if you don't listen to the radio and listen to your show,
of course,
I told him he should, by the way.
Good.
So I think the president needs to go on prime time and say, because it's a really complicated story, you know, and I think he just needs to say, this is what happened. This is what has happened to me in my administration, and I'm not going to be attacked. And he needs to explain the law to people, because people are not stupid, but they are not getting the truth on the regular channels.
Thanks for the call, Candace. I'm not averse to that conceptually. I think he's got to pick his spot, right? And so I think there's still a game of there was clearly a game of brinkmanship going on between Mueller and the White House. And then there's additional complicating factors where we don't truly know what's going on, like the, again, delay in the sentencing of General Michael Flynn.
Right.
That's been delayed for another 2 months. Now, does that mean that Mueller is worried that Flynn is going to withdraw his guilty plea? Does that mean that Mueller is trying to leverage Flynn for more information? Does that mean that Flynn has additional utility for Mueller with respect to his real goal in this whole thing, which is to take Trump out on obstruction of justice? I don't know the answer, but the sentencing delay is curious. Remember, lying to the FBI about his professional business dealings, not anything with respect to Russian collusion, the campaign, certainly that wasn't disclosed at the outset. And then all this talk about kind of the underlying lying, quote unquote, was not something for which Flynn was culpable. Much like some of the Mueller questions. We go back again. We've addressed this before. Alan Dershowitz has addressed it. Andy McCarthy's addressed it. The president has the right to fire the FBI director. He has control over executive appointments. He can do it for illegitimate reasons. He can do it for disingenuous reasons. He can have a ulterior motive than the one he presents to the public. It is within in his presidential purview. So how can it be obstruction of justice when you are legally authorized to do what you did for virtually any reason other than to, in advance of some criminal conspiracy? But they're essentially conceding, it seems to me, with most of these questions, that they don't have anything criminal with respect to the Russians.
Nothing.
Hey, Tim and Zion, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Yeah, I think the simple answer to this whole situation is just that what they're gambling on, because, this deep state goes pretty deep, so to speak, is that they're hoping that they can keep this going until 2018 or this midterm election this year. And then after that, depending on how the Democrats come out in it, they can keep it going all through his term, his 4 years. And maybe, even slide him some other way. It's just a Democratic way of sliding Trump and his presidency. That's how I feel about
Yeah, I mean, it's certainly part of it is a game of attrition. You're right. Thanks for the call, Tim. Tom in Deer Park.
Good morning. This is ongoing. It's complicated, and it's really hard to keep up with. But one thing that my understanding is that Mueller's team has been pretty ironclad about not leaking. So now these 50 points come out, and there's speculation out there that there's so many grammatical and spelling errors in it that it's not something that Mueller's team might have done, and this in fact might be some sort of a House of Mirrors smokescreen by Trump's crew. And I was wondering, with their reputation for mendacity, what your opinion is on that, Dan, if you think that that's a possibility or if you think that Mueller's team actually leaked this stuff.
Thanks for the call. I think the reputation for mendacity is ubiquitous with the participants we're discussing. Is it possible that this was some kind of compilation of questions that Mueller's team indicated they wanted answers to, or that Trump's legal team thought he was going to ask in some form or fashion? It's possible. Is it possible it's a draft of the actual questions that Mueller was going to ask or wanted answered in some form or fashion, and there was negotiations between Trump's legal team and Mueller? It's possible. I mean, there are a lot of possibilities here. The questions themselves seem plausible in terms of what a prosecutor would ask, both in terms of how comprehensive they are. Some are specific, some are open-ended, some open new channels of investigation or consideration. David French points it out. Now, one of the questions, what knowledge do you have of any outreach by your campaign, including Paul Manafort, to Russia about potential assistance to the campaign? So now you bring Paul Manafort into...
there's so many players.
Well, but I mean, this is one... Yeah, so this is like another avenue. So this is one example of it. Now you potentially open up this idea that Paul Manafort was engaged in trying to illegally enlist Russian operatives to aid the Trump campaign. That's just a question. But Manafort, obviously, all his legal troubles relate to his personal business dealings that predate Trump, or certainly President Trump. So, it's hard to divine too much here. I think there are a lot of possibilities and there are a lot of slippery characters. And that's why it makes the footing very tenuous.
Yeah, don't walk into the lion's den. And also, too, who leaked this to the New York Times? These were questions that Trump's attorneys received, and then it ended up at the New York Times.
Did they? That's
that's what everybody was reporting.
Ostensibly,
yeah.
Yeah,
they got these 49 questions. Here's a taste of what we're going to ask you, and then look, overnight it just popped up.
Right,
New York Times.
But that's
But I mean,
what
it's not illegal. It just makes it more interesting.
Yeah, I mean, it's just it's a personal memo, like the memo Comey leaked to his Columbia law professor.
Hear about the big stories of the day, then talk about them right here on Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Coming up today and one day only, our business benefactor program lines are open to aid the 100 Club of Chicago. We'll speak with Joe Aher next and tell you how you can get involved. And later, keeping it in the family, guess whose daughter is running for Chicago alderman. First, here's your forecast today. Mainly cloudy, breezy, a high of 82 degrees. And we have a chance of a heavy thunderstorm around here this afternoon. Let's get into the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Already pavements buckling, Jim Telemonte?
That's right, Amy and Dan. Good morning. Southbound 41 in Highland Park before Lake Cook. Left lane is blocked due to a pavement buckle. All repairs are scheduled today. And there's that big rubbish fire in Forest View just north of the Stevenson Expressway off Harlem. The Stevenson is heavy this morning with the main delays from the Des Plaines River Bridge to Kedzie. Looking at about 51 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound 34. Edens is 22 minutes, Lake Cook Junction, outbound 19, Kennedy. 24 minutes, O'Hare to downtown, outbound 27. Donna Eisenhower, 46 minutes, 390 to downtown, outbound 32. The Ryan, 30 minutes, 95th to the Loop. I-57, 20 minutes, I-80 to the Merge, Bishop 425. Eastbound Adams Tollway jammed up from the Tri-State onto the Kennedy. I'm Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
I went to have my blood test done a few weeks ago, and I met the doctor, and he was really encouraged by my progress, and I showed him what I was taking, and he started looking at all the ingredients, and he said, I'm really impressed with the shiitake mushroom. And he said, this stuff, it could clean out your arteries. And I'm like, oh, wow. He said, you may be onto something here. And he said, you just keep that up, and maybe you can start cutting back on your medication. And he says, you're helping your health by doing that. And I'm like, whoa, endorsement by the doctor.
When you call, use discount code CHICAGO, and we'll take 35% off your first month's order and ship it to you free. Call 1-800-246-8751. That's 1-800-246-8751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
Folks, when shopping for a home mortgage, how much is great service, low closing costs, and competitive interest rates worth to you? At Townstone Financial, it's priceless. Hi, Barry Sterner, founder of Townstone Financial. Let's hear about the Townstone experience from one of our customers.
It was wonderful. I called Ira. This was the Monday after Thanksgiving, and he got everything done, and we were still able to close on the 15th, so basically 2.5 weeks. The day I called him, he was like, okay, I need this, and he was able to get it approved, and of course, the people I was buying the house from were concerned. Ira kept them in the loop, and they were all satisfied, and at the closing table, both real estate agents said, I want his number and his email.
Remember, nobody values your home mortgage business more than Townstone. I guarantee it, and I own the company. So call me now, Barry Sterner, at 312-896-2110. That's 312-896-2110. Or go to townstone.com. That's TOWNSTONE.com.
Townstone Financials, Indiana, Michigan, Wisconsin, Florida, Illinois Mortgage Licensee 6629 and NMLS 136639. Equal housing lender.
Your local 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning knows how miserable it feels when your AC goes out. You want it fixed fast, fixed right, and get a fast quote. Unlike some companies, we don't give you a quote until we actually see what the problem is. Then we'll give you our straightforward price and always stand by our work. Right now, get savings on any AC repair. Call 855-1-HOUR.
Your comfort is just a call away. Call 1 Hour.
Terms and conditions may apply. Call for details. Independently owned and operated. Licensed in the respective state or county.
Every business needs great people, and the better way to find them. Something better than posting your job online and just praying for the right people to see it. ZipRecruiter revolutionized hiring. Their technology finds great candidates for you. No wonder 80% of employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site in just one day. Goodbye post and pray. Hello ZipRecruiter. The smartest way to hire.
Try it for free today at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy, good morning. And the date, Thursday, June 14th. You want to mark that on your calendar. That's our 100 Club of Chicago golf outing. That's our annual golf outing here at the station. Amy plays, Walsh plays, I play. So I think some of our salespeople play.
Yeah. Or they drive along in carts and try to get business from people.
Yeah, there you go.
But it's a full day of golf. We have a 7:30 a.m. morning shotgun and a 2:30 afternoon shotgun start. Your choice. And there's a lunch from 12:30 to 2 p.m.
So sign up now, 312-363-6680, 312-363-6680. That's our business benefactor hotline, if you will. And what's the business benefactor program, Amy?
Well, funny you should ask. If you purchase a foursome for $1,196, you will receive 25 60-second commercials to promote your business here on AM 560 The Answer. I know Tom Sadeka, Precision Payroll, they began as a business benefactor. It's a great way to get the word out about your company. And it's a $3,000 value only for $1,196. And proceeds from your payment go to the 100 Club of Chicago.
Right. And again, it's at Bolingbrook Golf Club, so it's a nice track as well. And speaking of the 100 Club of Chicago, we're pleased to be joined by the CEO of the aforesaid 100 Club of Chicago, Joe Ahern. Joe, thanks for joining us again. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Dan. Thanks for having me.
Good to partner with you again this year on this golf outing for the worthy cause that you preside over, essentially, the organization, the 100 Club of Chicago. And just again, for people less familiar with it, describe the objective of the organization, and if you could, give us an update on perhaps one of the most high-profile clients you've had in recent years, and that's the Bauer family.
Yeah, Dan, the 100 Club has been around now. In August, it'll be 52 years. And when a police officer, firefighter, or anyone in state, local, federal law enforcement dies in the line of duty, we provide the family with financial benefit, $50,000, and then we send all the kids to college. So we've given away over $10 million over the last 50 years. And right now we have 21 sons and daughters of police officers and firefighters that are in college right now. And
that's $10 million alone with the tuition these days.
Yeah, exactly. And sadly, we've got 65 more young people that will come of age in the future that will need college education. So thanks to AM 560, to you and Amy and what you are doing for us, because the chance for us to get this platform to tell our story is so important for us to continue to do the work that we do.
And you help within 24 hours of a fatality, of somebody being, gunned down on the line of duty.
Amy, that's the way it should be. I mean, some of the benefits, with state and federal, some of them aren't in great shape financially, and so they have to wait for their benefits sometimes a year and a half, and a lot of forms to fill out, and the wait is very, very painful for us. We're there usually within the first 12 hours to provide financial assistance, and then we come back and sit down with them and help them to work out the next 1, 3, 5, 7 years to navigate these tough choices.
And I know that was the case for Commander Paul Bauer's family, and so tell us about how the family's doing.
Yeah, in fact, I was with Aaron and Grace yesterday at the FOP Hall, where they were kicking off May is National Police Recognition Month. And so they were putting Commander Bauer's name on the wall there at the FOP Hall, and they're going through a very, very tough time. I mean, it's very painful, as you can imagine. Grace is 13 years of age, and really a daddy's girl.
And that's the time you need your dad the most.
Oh, it's
heartbreaking.
Years. I mean, this was an extraordinary guy. A wonderful family guy, a great police officer. He had great heart for people. When I was right after the incident, a lot of the media had called me to talk about the 100 Club, and I recall a black radio station asked me to come on, and I was taking call-ins, and I had a minister from the 18th District Black Church said, I just want to tell you that Commander Bauer would spend a lot of time with the congregation and come in and sit down with them, ask, what are your needs? What can we do to help? That is a really special guy that had a special calling.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like from every thing that came in after his murder, from all quarters, that he was just this kind of universally beloved figure, which is not easy to do in this city, particularly when you're wearing the uniform.
Yeah, exactly. In fact, I had one other call in that it will stay with me, I think, forever. Remember the Black Lives Matters down on Michigan Avenue? All the protests that were going on,
Yeah.
and stores were being blocked, and I had a fellow call in and identified himself as being one of the protesters of Black Lives Matter on this radio station, and I thought, oh boy, this could not be fun conversation. And he said, I just want to tell you, he said that I met Commander Bauer out there, and he treated us with respect. And he moved us along, he said, but I just want to commend him for the way he treated us. That's a really special guy.
Well, to sign up for our golf outing to help the 100 Club of Chicago and to continue with the good work that you do, we call this number 312-363-6680. That's 312-363-6680 and see how you can become a business benefactor.
And the Team Amy, Team Dan, Team Joe, Team Amy has been purchased.
That went quick.
Yeah.
I can only brag because last year I had to wait a while before somebody picked me up.
And who picked
in
you
their
this year?
foursome. I don't know, but I'm sure somebody brilliant, probably wonderful golfer. We're going to have good conversation. You know, it'll be fine. Who picked you, Dan?
I don't know the gentleman. I guess I'm going to meet him after the show today.
Oh.
It's sort of a blind date. It's just lunch. It's just,
Is it our
just,
time?
It's just a meeting at 9 o'clock at AM 560. Dean Mattis is his name. I got that from Mike Sakoff, one of our sales guys. And I think he's got some kind of like online golf outlet. Plus, he's a pilot.
Oh, he sounds perfect.
I
Maybe he
think-
has a dog too.
I think
you guys. It's going to be a great bromance.
I think
That's how it starts.
I think he could be the one.
Oh, to become a business benefactor,
I'm
phone
so
lines
happy
are
for
open.
you.
Thank you very much, Joe. You know,
3-1.
hope springs eternal.
312-363-6680. 312-363-6680. Play golf with us on Thursday, June 14th. $1,196 proceeds go to help the 100 Club of Chicago. And as a way of saying thank you, we give you 25 one-minute commercials.
And Joe Hearn, Chief Executive Officer of the 100 Club of Chicago, will be back with us a little bit later in the show. Joe, thanks for joining us. Appreciate
Thanks
it.
so much, Dan.
Coming
Thanks,
up
Amy.
on Chicago's Morning Answer.
I can't. I'm doing Dana Carvey. I'm trying to do Dana Carvey doing Tom Brokaw. He is being defended in some quarters and criticized in others. We'll discuss the venerated anchor at 6:36.
But first, into the newsroom we go. Here is Mike Scott.
We have 70 degrees. Special counsel investigating Russian interference in the 2016 election reportedly has warned President Trump's lawyers he may subpoena the president if Trump doesn't agree to talk to investigators. Texas and 6 other states are suing the Trump administration over the DACA program. Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton.
We assume always that President Trump is in support of the rule of law, and so, how they handle this is up to them. But our experience with the president and the administration is that they are all about the rule of law, which is what we care about as well.
In announcing the suit yesterday, Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton says he doesn't want the federal government to revoke any DACA permits, but just to end the practice of handing them out. High school students who support the Second Amendment are staging a walkout today. Students in over 40 states are expected to participate in the national event called Stand for the Second by walking out of class for 16 minutes. Iowa may soon have the strictest abortion law in the nation. The House passing a bill late last night banning most abortions if a fetal heartbeat can be detected, and the Senate following by passing it early this morning. The bill was changed in the House slightly to add an exception for rape or incest, but only if they are reported within a certain time frame. People in a small Nebraska town are sifting through the damage from a tornado that touched down about 2 hours ago west of Omaha. Crews continue battling a fire at a recycling center in southwest suburban Forest View. The rubbish blaze broke out last night along a canal close to I-55 at Lakeshore Recycling Systems. No one was hurt, but some homes were threatened after brush fires broke out in south suburban Alsip after red flag warnings were posted yesterday. And officials say the number of students from Andrew High School who became sick after a recent prom event at the Shedd Aquarium is now 111. Chicago sports. Rockies beat the Cubs 3-1. Cardinals tipped the White Sox with a ninth inning comeback 3-2 at Busch. Cavaliers and Warriors winners in the NBA playoffs. Capitals and Jets won on the ice in the Stanley Cup playoffs. The news is a service of Staples. Staples can help your business stand out with custom printed signs, banners, and brochures. Now through June 2nd, spend $25 or more for a chance to win $1,000 worth of print and marketing services. Visit staples.com/SMB week for rules. No purchase is necessary. Must be 18 or older. Staples. 6:33, a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
The following is a paid political announcement.
Have you met the Swamp Brothers? Congressman Todd Rokita and Congressman Luke Messer. You already know their stories. Todd Rokita and Luke Messer are two lawyers who never practiced and became career politicians. What makes them Swamp Brothers? It's their records in Washington. In Congress, Todd Rokita and Luke Messer voted to fast-track Obama's bad trade deals which could have cost Indiana thousands of jobs. And Todd Rokita and Luke Messer voted for billions in new debt, $500 billion to be exact. But there's more, and it's even worse. Todd and Luke voted to fund abortion provider Planned Parenthood and Obama's executive amnesty. Todd's no conservative. He's a fraud. Luke's no conservative. He's a liberal. Todd the fraud. Luke the liberal. The Swamp Brothers. Wrong for you.
I'm Mike Braun, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Mike Braun for Indiana.
Dan Proft here, and I'm here with my guy, Ryan Kelly, at thehomeloanexpert.com. Over the last several years, it's been difficult for business owners and self-employed borrowers to refinance or buy homes, but that's about to change, Ryan. Tell everyone about your new loan program.
We're really excited to announce the Bank Statement Mortgage. The Bank Statement Mortgage is going to be a game changer in the industry. We're the first people to bring it out to the market. Here's the deal. If you're a business owner or self-employed, maybe you're a dentist, a doctor, a lawyer, a realtor, insurance agent, a contractor, a web designer, whatever it is, you should be taking advantage of all of your taxable, all your deductions. When you do that, you might make $70,000 a year, but after you write everything off, you're down to about $25,000, and you can't qualify for a mortgage on $25,000 in adjusted gross income. Well, I don't need your tax returns, pay stubs, 1099s, or any of that. I'll qualify you on your bank statements. If you're self-employed and you need a mortgage, apply online today at thehomeloanexpert.com. The Home Loan Expert LLC.
6:36. Get an update on the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. On the Edens inbound, delays start at Niles Center Road. It's 24 minutes from Lake Cook to the junction. Outbound fine at 19. Kennedy, 32 minutes. O'Hare to downtown, 15 from Montrose, 12 in the Express. Outbound, 14 minutes to Montrose, 30 to the airport. About Eisenhower. Heavy starting at St. Charles, 57 minutes, 390 to downtown. 42 from Manheim. Outbound, 35 minutes, 390. Northbound I-55 delays start at Weber Road, and the Stevenson runs an hour, 355 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound 35 minutes. On Ryan, 30 minutes, 95th to downtown. I-57, 20 minutes, side east to the merge, Bishop 425. Northbound Tri-States, though, 95th to LaGrange Road. From the Stevenson to the Hinsdale Oasis, and from the Reagan Silhouette to North Avenue. Traffic is a service of Lowe's. Pro customers at Lowe's save 5% every day when you use your Lowe's business credit account. That's 5% on all purchases in-store or online. Subject to credit approval, U.S. only. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1-hour heating and air conditioning weather center. Cloudy, breezy, an afternoon shower, maybe a heavy thunderstorm. I-82. Heavier storms overnight. Storms could bring some flooding rain or damaging winds and a low of 64. Currently, 72. Next news coming up at 7. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Advanced Planning Advisors, bringing you Smart Money Talk with Mike Moylan and Rob Curvin, Saturday mornings at 6.
If you're talking about it, I'll be talking about it. Dennis Prager here. Join me this morning at 11, right here on AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy, we've got a correction. Dean Matt is his name. That's the guy who purchased me.
Yes.
Purchased my heart. Dean Matt, golfgear.com is his website.
Yes. And he purchased you for the foursome for our upcoming AM 560 golf outing, which will take place Thursday, June 14th at the beautiful yet challenging Bolingbrook Golf Club.
Yeah, I'll make a little wish list for some discounted gear
and quickly,
that I need for this summer.
Yeah, let me give the number again. 312-363-6680. 312-363-6680. We have a 7:30 a.m. shotgun start, a 2:30 afternoon shotgun start, lunch for everyone at 12:30, and a silent auction, of course. You can auction off a day with Dan. I think that's starting at $1,000.
That is well below market value.
You purchase a foursome. The proceeds go to the 100 Club of Chicago. We'll be speaking with the president of the 100 Club of Chicago, Joe Ahern, all morning long, on and off throughout the hours. And it's the business benefactor program. So if you buy a foursome as a gift, we will give you 25 one-minute commercials. And that's a value of more than $3,000 in advertising. We're going to give it to you for $1,196. Plus, you're helping a great organization, the 100 Club of Chicago. The number again, 312-363-6680.
Yeah, that's like $300 a golfer, not even. And then you get $3,000 in advertising and stuff. I mean, this is a great deal. $300. I'm doing it on.
You dropped that in Riviera Maya, right?
I dropped
at that beautiful course.
Just on golf balls.
Oh my God!
And we found out who your Secret Santa was.
Mine is Waukegan Roofing. Woo!
No,
My friend Bruce over there.
I was going to guess Dolce and Gabbana.
Oh,
no.
D&G.
Yeah.
Dolce
good.
Gabbana.
All right.
No, so Waukegan Roofing. I will be golfing with those fine gentlemen.
What? You're a former news person.
Yes, I am.
What do you think of?
I guess I am.
And the accusers that are piling up, but it's not piling up like Bill Cosby, right? I mean, we've talked about this before, and this.
You can't compare anybody to Bill Cosby.
Or Harvey, or the Human Stain either.
The potted plant guy?
Yeah. I mean, so yeah, predators, Cosby, Weinstein. Yeah, of course. Get rid of them. Knock them out. Totally agree. Some of these other cases, though, are a lot more complicated. The cases of undressing me with his eyes. The cases of an unwanted touching from 30, 50 years ago is the newest accuser in the Brokaw case. I'm no fan of Tom Brokaw or any of these, kind of, the pundit class.
He did go
that
to Iowa,
share a
by the
brain.
way.
What?
Tom Brokaw was a Delta Upsilon at Iowa.
Did not know that.
Just in case you care. Just in case you wanted to know.
Boy, that's a real hit for Iowa then. You're not only
then he transferred and graduated from South Dakota State.
Couldn't hack it at Iowa. There you go.
No, he couldn't.
So it started with this Linda Vester, right, alleging essentially an assault in the 1990s.
Well,
but it was like a
saying?
pass. He made passes at her.
Okay, so he was hitting on her. Yeah,
well,
he was married at the time.
Well, yeah, and and there are differing accounts of whether Brokaw had a little Matt Lauer in him back in the day or not. You know what I mean?
Well, he didn't have a lock on the door, did he?
Well, I don't know the details. And then there are some that, and including Brokaw, has fired back. He's not just He's not just kind of playing the role of a pincushion and just taking it. He's said that Ms. Vester has a history of problems with the truth after a sort of mediocre, unmemorable career in journalism. But others have rallied to her defense and gone after him. What this exposes, though, in part with Mika. What's our mashup name for them?
Oh, Mika and Joe.
Chica. Or Joyka.
Joyka.
Like Troika.
Yeah.
It just exposes the vacuousness of the left's you must believe the woman regardless of the quality, nature, evidentiary support for the allegation.
But then NBC News took it one step further where they sent out this letter and they wanted notable NBC newsers like Andrea Mitchell and Rachel Maddow to offer their support. So signed this letter of support for Tom Brokaw. And since then, I think, some felt that they were pressured to sign it. I don't think NBC should have put the letter out. Come on.
Well, they're trying to cover their backsides, right? They want the names like Andrea Mitchell and Joyka to be on this letter because it gives the executives who you don't know cover, right?
Yeah.
But it's just interesting. Again, the people that set a standard if the target is somebody they don't know or don't like, and that standard is very different when the target is somebody they do know and or do like. Remember how Joyka handled Mark Halperin, and how they were, borderline tearing up over his appropriate departure, given what we know to be true, and given the fact that he essentially pled, guilty in the court of public opinion to at least some of what was alleged against him, all of which was, very poor and potentially criminal behavior. But the Brokaw thing, I'm not defending Brokaw's character. Is what these women allege possible? Sure. But I don't know. How do you view it as a woman and as a female reporter and as somebody who came up with Tom Brokaw, both in your mid-70s? So you're both in the business at the same time.
Yeah, right. We shared a cubicle.
So you know what it was like to be a woman in the business at that time? How do you react to these allegations?
First of all, I'm sure that it probably did happen, but to me, it is so long ago. It was the last century. Why? I don't want to hear about it anymore. It happened. Now she's a victim because it's convenient for her, because everybody else is coming out. Now this is her Me Too moment.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That it happened long ago is not a defense, right?
No, but times were different back then. If I had a show to tell you, 4 hours wouldn't be enough to tell you how many times photographers, producers, anchors said inappropriate things. It was a weekly basis.
All right, let's go name names.
No. Because I don't need to have a Me Too moment. I made peace with that. If it really bothered me, I told the person. And then I got on. I don't need to bring up their name. I got over it, so I don't need them to go through that again. I stated my peace with them. I'm done with it.
Was Brokaw one of them?
You mean Tommy? Wait, you mean T-Man?
Gerald Ford is dead today, and I'm gay.
Yeah. This is great. The great bit that Dana Carvey did, actually for his show.
Right.
The Dana Carvey show, not SNL, where they were recording the RIP notices for presidents just to have them in the can so they're ready to go.
Just in case.
Gerald Ford was mauled senselessly by a circus lion in a convenience store.
No, it doesn't surprise. Who's next? Dan Rather? Who else? Garrison Keillor's gone. Matt Lauer, Tom Brokaw. Who else?
Yeah.
Charlie Rose.
You're gonna have
we're gonna have robotic men doing the news soon.
Well, you're gonna have to exhume the careers of newsmen from a half a century ago and more.
Brian Williams is looking pretty good right now, huh?
No, it's still not.
Still not over.
Stunning news from Yorba Linda today, as Richard Nixon's corpse climbed out of its grave and strangled Gerald Ford to death.
The main reason we're doing this segment is so we can play those drops.
Exactly. That's the only reason why.
Anthony in Plainfield.
Hi. I don't think NBC or the world at large has to worry about many guys hitting on Andrea Mitchell.
Hey, you tell that to Alan Greenspan, sir.
He gets to see her every night before he goes to bed.
Hot tamale to Alan Greenspan. Thanks for the call, Anthony. Talk about quantitative easing, if you know what I mean. Mike on the north side.
Their foreplay.
Hey, Mike.
Good morning. Thanks for taking my call. Wait a minute. We're supposed to believe NBC and MSNBC on this. Weren't they the network that killed the story about Harvey Weinstein? Weren't they the network that still backs up that homophobe Joy Reid? They're wrong and they're right until we prove them wrong. Forget it. And all this BS about it's in the past. Hey, so was the Holocaust and the slavery. Are we supposed to forget about those?
Well, okay.
That's a bit of a stretch.
Thanks for the call, Mike. But I don't think we're talking about anything quite on par with the Holocaust or slavery. Proportion is important in these conversations. Goodness.
Today is 100 Club of Chicago Day on AM 560. Purchase a foursome to AM 560's golf outing to benefit the 100 Club of Chicago. Call 312-363-6680 or visit 560theanswer.com/golf.
I'm Lou Dobbs. Car makers pondering next steps. Gibson Guitars filing for bankruptcy, and Arizona caves to striking school teachers. Those stories next.
The backyard's looking great, Rob.
Thanks, man. I was planning on adding a deck, too. Know any good contractors?
Why don't you just ask Home Advisor?
Home what?
HomeAdvisor.com. You just tell them about your project, and they match you with local pros that can do the job.
Nice. Now, how much does it cost?
Oh, Home Advisor's totally free to use. Plus, you can read customer reviews, check pricing, and book appointments for free.
What's the website again?
HomeAdvisor.com. Or just download the free Home Advisor app.
Home Advisor. Wondering how you can make a difference with your cell phone? Check out Patriot Mobile, America's only conservative cell phone company. Patriot's mission is to provide a portion of their profits to conservative causes. You get the same great nationwide service as Big Mobile, transparent pricing, competitive plans, easy switching, discounts for active military, veterans, and first responders. All you need to know is their address, patriotmobile.com. That's patriotmobile.com. Patriot Mobile, built on conservative principles.
Ford, Toyota, and Nissan all posting lower sales figures yesterday. General Motors announcing last month they wouldn't give out monthly sales numbers any longer. Industry estimates, however, put GM sales as down 8%. Consumer demand for passenger cars has been dwindling in favor of SUVs and pickups. One of the best-known brands in the world, the iconic guitar maker Gibson, filing for bankruptcy. The world-famous company plans to remain in operation. It has $135 million of operating capital from a variety of lenders. Striking teachers who kept Arizona's public schools closed for days have won a standoff with the state legislators, who are now scrambling to pass a new budget, which will contain 10% raises for the strikers. Please join me for Lou Dobbs tonight, 7 and 11 Eastern on the Fox Business Network. This is the Lou Dobbs Financial Report.
It's Dan Proft. I'm excited to tell you about the Dangerous Camp for boys and over 20 other summer day camps from Northridge Prep. What's Dangerous Camp? It's a camp designed to get your boys off their iPads, iPhones, and video games this summer. It's dangerously fun, not unsafe. They throw water balloons, play games, and learn the meaning of outdoor adventure. As a listener to the morning show, you've heard me talk about Northridge Prep, the all-boys school in Niles that instills the traditional values you hold as parents. Their summer programs for boys in grades 1 through 8 combine fun, adventure, and character growth. You won't find camps like this anywhere else. A few camps caught my eye, like basketball camps led by a former NCAA D1 coach, Will Ray, and varsity players. Battles of the Civil War, bugs and botany, intro to musical improv, even a robotics camp where campers learn to build, pilot, and code their own robots. Get your son off the couch and into the outdoors. You can learn more and register online at northridgeprep.org. That's northridgeprep.org.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
I'm Mark Gastineau. I played in the NFL for 10 years. I was diagnosed with CTE, with dementia, Alzheimer's, and Parkinson's. The fruits and vegetables that we take from Balance of Nature is the best thing that we could ever do. And I'm calling in now to order extra because of my wife has been taking mine because she sees a difference in me. It is a wonderful thing that Balance of Nature is doing. I hear the testimonies on the radio, but I'm a testimony for myself. And the fruits and vegetables, if I don't take them every single day, my day is not going to go the same. So God bless you, and thank you for what you've done for my wife and I.
When you call, use discount code CHICAGO, and we'll take 35% off your first month's order and ship it to you free. Call 800-246-8751 or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest growing independently owned business bank. It's a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
Hi, I'm Kevin Bastuga, co-founder of Signature Bank. If you get the feeling your deposits don't matter to your bank, then maybe you're not with the right bank. At Signature Bank, your deposits matter to us as much as your business loans. Signature provides unmatched banking expertise, custom financial solutions, and the industry's best technology to closely held Chicagoland businesses. Whether your business is looking for a deposit relationship or needs a ready source for financing, Signature Bank is the right bank for you. Call us today to see how Signature Bank can help your business grow and thrive.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. To learn more about turning your business vision into reality, visit signaturebank.bank. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Hey, we know replacing your roof is a big deal and a big decision. This is Mark Olson.
And Greg Olson, the boys from Crumweedy. If your roof is needy,
call Crumweedy. We would love to do your roof. Why choose Crumweedy to do your roof or roof repairs?
It's all about installation. Our guys are pros. When we install your roof, you'll get the Crumweedy promise of installation that's up to manufacturer specifications, so your warranty is intact. You'll be happy.
Cost. We give you a good, better, best option. You choose. No high pressure.
We're here. We're a third-generation family business that was built on the same conservative values as you.
We do business the right way. We have a special offer that includes free gutters with a new roof. Ask about it. When your roof is needy,
call Crumweedy. 630-595-8020. 630-595-8020.
Get all the info at myroofisneedy.com. myroofisneedy.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy, good morning. And today we are profiling and promoting the 100 Club of Chicago golf outing, which is happening Thursday, June 14th. So just a little over a month away at the Bolingbroke Golf Club, same place we had it last year. And the 100 Club of Chicago is the beneficiary, as it was last year, which means that the families of fallen police officers, firefighters, state and local law enforcement in Chicago are the beneficiaries.
And we're asking for...
You have to turn your mic on so people hear you.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we're asking for foursomes to come forward, $1,196. It's about $300 a golfer. The proceeds go to the 100 Club of Chicago. And if you own a business or if you're the marketing manager for a business, this is a great way to promote your product. We will give you, as a way of saying thanks, 25 one-minute commercials that will air right here on AM 560 Monday through Sunday. To become a business benefactor, 312-363-6680. Operators are standing by. Again, that number is 312-363-6680.
And we're pleased to be joined by the CEO of the aforesaid 100 Club of Chicago, Joe Ahern. Thanks for being back with us, Joe. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Dan.
So we talked a little bit earlier in the show about Commander Paul Bauer and his family. You updated us on how his family's doing during this difficult time and what the 100 Club of Chicago is doing to support them. But unfortunately, you've had other cases to deal with recently as well. Tell us about some of those families.
Well, yesterday I was at the FOP Hall where we memorialize fallen police officers at the start of May 1st, the start of May, which is the National Police Recognition Month. And Denise Demigala was there. Her husband tragically died. He was shot in 1988 and suffered, long rehab in the hospital and passed last September with 3 sons. But these are families of generations of police officers and firefighters, generations of families that continue to give back. And, the aftermath, you just don't really understand how difficult it is for these families, because it's so painful even today as we yesterday when we memorialized and put his name on the wall, the pain that comes with that.
And we wish, that our police officers, first responders weren't under attack, but they are. And these fine men and women are leaving behind children, and you help them put them through college.
Yes, unfortunately, we have 21 sons and daughters that are in college right now. And frankly, because of the golf outing of AM 560, we're able to do that. We're able to continue to do the work that we do to help these families. It's very, very difficult. But boy, when you see these kids go through this painful time, you're there at the worst point of their life. And then to see them go on and go on to college and have a family of their own, and again, get jobs and really continue to give back to our community and make it a better place to live. You really feel like the gratification that you get from that is just tremendous. So I'm grateful for all the people that sign up for the golf outing, come out and support the 100 Club.
As long as none of them go to Northwestern. You can't. That's a deal breaker for me. I'm out. No, I'm kidding.
Now, wait a minute, Dan, because Northwestern and University of Chicago are part of our university partnership program.
Dan.
We have 21 colleges and universities, Dan,
Yeah.
that support our kids.
All right, don't go to Northwestern. I went there, so I have the standing to comment. 312-363-6680. 312-363-6680 is the phone number. We've got our sales team standing by. You want to get into the Business Benefactor Program, purchase a foursome to support Joe Ahern, the Hunter Club of Chicago, and all of those families of law enforcement in the Chicagoland area. Now, college education, obviously, that's a huge expense and getting bigger every day. But other support that Hunter Club of Chicago provides for families.
We do counseling. We have counseling for family members. We also have a summer camp for kids, and up in the North Woods of Wisconsin, and it's just such a magnificent place. I've been up there. It's about a 6-hour drive, and a great place for kids to really get out and into the wilderness and canoe trips and really get away from some of the troubles that
you do
experiencing.
Great work. We'll have you back next hour, too, to talk about other things, other people that you're helping. Again, the number is 312-363-6680. Sign up to be a business benefactor. Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
The Roman Maroney of Illinois takes me to task, and I respond. We'll talk about it at 7:07.
And later, what's up, Doc? President Trump's doctor said his office was raided. We'll tell you why. But first, let's go into the newsroom and catch up with news here at home and around the world. Here is Mike Scott.
Amy and Dan Cruz are on the scene of a Forest View recycling fire. A 4-year-old shot on Chicago's south side. Rockies cooled off the Cubs, while the Sox fall to the Cards in the 9th inning. Cloudy, breezy with an afternoon shower or heavy thunderstorm. WIND Chicago News Time is 7 o'clock.
Witch hunt, hoax, no collusion. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. Familiar words from President Trump in a tweet 15 minutes ago, again claiming there was no obstruction of justice in the Russia investigation, calling that a setup and trap. This, as we learned, Special Counsel Robert Mueller suggested he might subpoena the president to testify if he doesn't answer those questions he gave to the White House.
Fox confirming that John Dowd, the president's lead attorney at the time of this March meeting, said basically to Mueller, this is not a game. You're screwing with the work of the president of the United States. I've spoken to some in the president's orbit who are furious and think that actually Dowd is leaking these details, especially since this story, like the New York Times report about Mueller's prepping 4 questions for the president, cast Dowd in a very heroic light, as if he put it out there. I spoke to Dowd by phone. He insisted to me he's not leaking.
That's Fox's Ed Henry. It's up to 28 migrants from that Central American caravan allowed in to be processed, seeking asylum in the U.S. More than 100 others want in. President Trump's attempt to end the DACA program is hung up in court, so now several states are taking a shot at it. Fox's Tanya J. Powers has more live.
Dave, Texas and 6 other states filed a lawsuit yesterday saying they want to end the Obama-era program that protects young immigrants brought to the U.S. illegally as children.
Left intact, DACA sets a dangerous precedent by giving the executive branch sweeping authority to ignore the laws enacted by Congress and change our nation's immigration laws to suit a president's own preferences.
That's Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton. The suit comes a week after a federal judge in Washington ordered the Trump administration to continue that program. Dave?
Tony, the FAA has ordered more engines on more planes be inspected for possible fan blade cracks after last month's engine blowout on a Southwest flight shattered a window, killing a passenger who was nearly sucked out. President Trump honored the pilot yesterday for landing the flight safely.
Captain Schultz, I especially want to commend you for your life-saving actions.
This is Fox News. Fair and balanced.
Skies are cloudy. We have 70 degrees, 7:02 on AM 560. The Answer. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott. Crews are battling a recycling center fire in Forest View this morning. Rubbish blaze broke out last night at Lakeshore Recycling. Fire crews remain on the scene. No injuries have been reported. That after several brush fires broke out in South Suburban Alsip and elsewhere. Yesterday, the blazes began after forecasters warned of weather conditions could lead to particularly dangerous fires and posted red flag warnings. Officials say the number of students from a Chicago area high school who became sick after a recent prom at the Shedd Aquarium is now 111. This morning's total is much higher than the 90 cases involving Andrew High School students reported Monday. 4-year-old girl is in stable condition. She was shot while simply sitting on the front porch of her Chicago Southside home. The drive-by shooting happened last night near 88th and Morgan. The shooter was inside, according to police, a dark-colored vehicle, and no arrests have been made. 5 women paramedics with the Chicago Fire Department are suing over claims they were sexually harassed by their bosses. The suit also claims there's a code of silence in the department that encourages the illegal behavior. Governor Rauner's office releasing its report on the next steps for the Veterans Home in Quincy. AM 560's David Stewart reports the remedies will come in 3 phases.
The Quincy Veterans Home is where a Legionnaire's disease outbreak has caused persistent problems, including 13 deaths since 2015. Governor Rauner says replacing all the pipes in the old home is one option, though it would be difficult and not necessarily effective.
Because it's 130 years old, there were the buildings that got torn out. The plumbing that went to those buildings is still underground, capped off. Well, that's dead-end water that can sit there and breed pathogens.
He says in the short term, a nearby nursing home could be used, but in the long run, a new building is what's needed. David Stewart, NBC News Radio, Chicago.
And you may not know this, but the organizers of Chicago's Cinco de Mayo parade in Little Village are blaming an alderman for why it will not take place this weekend. The event was canceled just days before it was set to step off Sunday at Cermak Road and Damon Avenue. Coordinator Hector Escobar blaming the parade's cancellation on a lack of support from 12th Ward Alderman George Cardenas. Rockies beat the Cubs 3-1. Cardinals over the White Sox at Busch 3-2. Cavaliers and Warriors, NBA playoff winners. Capitals and Jets won on the ice in the Stanley Cup playoffs. The news service of Staples. Staples can help your business stand out with custom printed signs, banners, and brochures. Now through June 2nd, spend $25 or more in store for a chance to win $1,000 worth of print and marketing services. Visit staples.com/SMB week for rules. No purchase necessary. Must be 18 or older at Staples. 7:05, a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Yeah, traffic. It is what it is. Missed concerts, football games, lots of cold dinners, and cold shoulders from Cindy. How much longer do I have to do this? Kids miss me. Cindy misses me. Our marriage is missing me.
From Tabota and Associates.
Then I heard Jack Tabota on the radio again.
Potential strategy designed to help them retire sooner.
What do I have to lose? So I called him. We met, discussed my numbers, then just talked. Talked about life, family, retirement, then something I didn't expect. Jack says retirement wasn't as far off as I thought. And today, the only thing I'm missing is the traffic.
Do you need a financial strategy for retirement? Let's talk. Tabota and Associates, 630-777-7955. 630-777-7955. Investment advisory services offered through AE Wealth Management, LLC. AE Wealth Management and Tabota and Associates are not affiliated companies.
Shoot Point Blank is Chicago's leading shooting range and firearms store. Featuring 20 climate-controlled shooting lanes, complete retail store, and firearm education classes for all experience levels. Whether you're a new or expert shooter, now you can experience the Shoot Point Blank difference and see for yourself why so many people are talking about Shoot Point Blank.
I can tell you, I was impressed as soon as I walked through the door. The employees were really helpful, very patient, and knowledgeable, too.
My wife and I had a wonderful experience. We felt very comfortable and informed.
Brett was very friendly and respectful, and he answered all my questions. Because I'm new to pistols, I'm grateful he was patient and helped me decide what to buy for my new firearm.
For a huge selection of new and used firearms, ammo, and state-of-the-art indoor shooting range, visit them in Hodgkins, Mokina, Naperville, or Merrillville. Or check out shootpointblank.com. Experience the difference. Shoot Point Blank.
Are we ready to open next month?
I think so.
You think so?
Well, it's complicated. Fire protection, first aid supplies, uniforms, safety training, mat services, oh, and restroom supplies.
So uncomplicated. Call Cintas. They'll handle all of it.
Wow, one company can handle all that? That's not very complicated.
So, you'll be ready?
Oh, we'll be ready.
Oh, I'm ready! Learn how Cintas can help you get ready for the workday. Visit Cintas.com.
When it comes to hiring, you don't have time to waste. You need to get to a short list of qualified candidates fast. That's why you need Indeed.com. Post a job in minutes. Set up screener questions based on your job requirements. Then zero in on qualified candidates using our intuitive online dashboard. Your time is precious. Let Indeed help you get to your short list of qualified candidates. Post a job today at Indeed.com/hire. Search for greatness. Search Indeed.
7:08. Let's get an update on the roads this morning. In the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center, here's Jim.
Thanks, Mike. Inbound Eden's delays start at Devon. It's 28 minutes. Lake Cook Junction outbound 25. On Kennedy, heavy all the way in. It's 50 minutes. O'Hare to downtown. 22 from Montrose. 30 in the express lanes. They're much heavier. Outbound 20 minutes to Montrose. 38 to the airport. On Eisenhower. An hour and 2 minutes. 390 to downtown. 42 minutes from Manheim. Outbound 35 to 390. Northbound I-55 delays start at 126. And it's an hour and 10 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive, 58 minutes from the Tri-State. Outbound 50 to 355. Ryan, 36 minutes, 95th to downtown. I-57, 27 minutes, ID to the merge, Bishop 435. Northbound Tri-State jam, Cicero to 75th. Then from the Stevenson to the Hinsdale Oasis, up from the Reagan Tollway to North Avenue. Northbound Veterans Memorial, little heavy approaching the Reagan Tollway. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte, AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1-hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center with our meteorologist, Alexandra Rabb.
Mostly cloudy, increasingly windy today with a shower or thunderstorm around and a high of 80. And tonight's considerably cloudy, breezy, and warm with a strong thunderstorm in the area earlier, followed by heavy thunderstorms late, low 65. I'm Alexandra Rabb on AM 560, The Answer.
We are at 72 right now. Next news coming up at 7:30, and Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
Listen to AM 560 on your mobile device. Now available on iHeartRadio. Online at iHeartRadio.com.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. So we can't get anything right with this Dean Matt guy who's I'm playing with in our golf outing on June 14th, with the beneficiary being the Hunter Club of Chicago.
I think it's Dean Matz.
Dean Matt.
Okay. Or,
I was told Dean Mattis, then I was told Dean Matt. Now, what's it? Is Dean Matt or Matz?
Matz.
Plural.
That's what I just heard. Yes,
Dean Matz.
D Matz. This is
Can't get it right over here. And the website isn't golfgear.com.
It's golfgear.golf. Golfgear.golf.
Sorry, Dean. I apologize.
It says golf because .com is so 90s.
It's true. I like a .golf. I like a
That's
.golf.
good. But yes, today we are, and just for today, we have our special business benefactor program for our golf outing, which is taking place Thursday, June 14th at Bolingbrook Golf Club. Foursomes are $1,196. With that, you'll get a shotgun start at 7:30 or at 2:30 in the afternoon. Throw in a lunch, a silent auction. But the thing is that the proceeds go to the 100 Club of Chicago. They help the family members of fallen firefighters, paramedics, police officers. They've been doing this since 1950. It's a great organization. We'll have Joe Ahern back to give us the details in a little bit. But as a way of saying thank you, we will give you 25 60-second commercials to promote your business on AM 560, The Answer. So you have a great day of golf. You'll have a wonderful lunch. You will be benefiting the 100 Club of Chicago, and you will be benefiting your business. That's why it's called the Business Benefactor Program, because it's a $3,000 advertising value that we are giving to you for $1,196.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great deal.
It's the best deal in Chicago.
Use some of that Trump tax cut money to help out the families of fallen police officers, members of law enforcement.
We have PCG Consulting is signed up.
Bill Gritsonis.
Yeah.
He's a friend of mine. He's good.
Store Lock. Words are hard. I'm golfing with Waukegan Roofing.
There you go.
My friend Bruce Diedrich is going to be. I'll be with him and 3 other people.
And I mean, $1,196 for a foursome, $1,200 for a foursome, $300 a player. Even if none of the stuff, all the advertising and whatnot wasn't included, it's still a good deal for Bolingbrook Golf Club. That's a good track. I'm doing an event at Olympia Fields for another charity. $1,000 a golfer.
Oof.
And you're playing, and you're getting a foursome, and you're paying for it.
Okay. Tell me what I'm doing.
Because we got to make hay while the sun. What?
And the number to call.
Up?
Forget
okay.
312-363-6680. That's 312-363-6680. Sign up for a great day of golf. Become a business benefactor. We can voice your commercials, too, because we are giving you 25 one-minute commercials to air right here. Dan can voice it. I can. Joe Walsh can. Or you could voice it yourself.
You could voice it as Dana Carvey doing home roll call. And as I was saying, we could make hay while the sun's up here before we leave. A series of editorials the Tribune has been running about the exodus from Illinois. They write this is from last week, that many tens of thousands of people have gravitated to those editorials on ChicagoTribune.com. Well, okay.
Oh, wow.
They
crashed the website, did they?
I mean, tens of thousands. Let's not get silly, Tribune. But the underlying substance is on the mark. Their most recent editorial, they offer this. Here's an Illinois mood quiz. You notice a U-Haul truck on the highway headed out of state. Your thought is A, traitors, Illinois is the greatest. B, do they know something I don't? C, take me with you. A, B, or C.
Or D, all of the above?
It can't be all of the above. Illinois is the greatest and take me with you. A, B, or C, 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line. 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line. What do you think to yourselves when you see a U-Haul truck on the highway headed out of state?
There's so many people moving, and there's 2 elderly couples now on our street that's moving, and the sole reason is because of the property taxes. And the senior tax exemption that they have applied for really isn't. It's not much of an exemption. Oh, they're leaving Illinois because they can't pay their property taxes because they're too expensive.
It's not true.
Yes, it is.
No?
They're moving to Wisconsin, and the other couple's moving to Franklin, Tennessee.
That's not the reason they're lying to you.
Okay, that's what she told me. But what is the Tribune?
She's a dirty liar, because this isn't me saying it.
Yeah.
This is an appeal to an authority. Jerry Morrison, who is the top political goon at SEIU, the Purple People Beaters.
Oh yeah, the Purple People.
Yeah. He has taken up this matter, and now Jerry Morrison is a lout who writes profanity-laced screeds on social media when he isn't trying to push around parents of children with disabilities. That's what SEIU does. That's what Jerry Morrison does. Makes a good living doing it. And if you don't believe me about that latter matter with respect to pushing around families, parents of children with disabilities, go read the opinion in the Harris v. Quinn case handed down by the Supreme Court. Go talk to Pam Harris and families in Illinois who've been thuggerized by goons like Jerry Morrison.
Because they wanted them to join the union, right?
Yeah.
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 To unionize. They're taking care of their children who have disabilities, and they want them to be unionized.
Right.
Yeah.
They're going to be unionized against they have an adversarial relationship with their children in a professional sense.
Yeah.
Well, so he's taken this up. And when I call him the Roman Moroni of Illinois politics, it's because, like Roman Moroni, he murders everything in his wake, including the English language.
You lousy corksuckers. You have violated my fucking rights. This Samanambachin country was founded so that the liberties of common patriotic citizens like me could not be taken away by a bunch of fucking iceholes like yourselves. Thank you.
If you don't,
Swedish.
If you haven't seen Johnny Dangerously, then shame on you. That is
good.
A guilty pleasure. So Jerry Morrison's version of that prepared statement is this: I'm sick of the bull jive, but that's not the word he used, assertion that politics and high taxes are forcing people to leave Illinois for quote-unquote better states. I don't think people pick up their families and move to another state because they don't like the politics of a particular state. That is just plain silly and beneath the dignity of the Chicago Tribune. The ridiculous and politically motivated argument was planted like a putrid seed. So vivid. 2 years ago by the Illinois Policy Institute and the Trump-loving Dan Proft. Hey, that's me.
Hey, oh.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Them are fighting words.
Yeah. So let's stop with the Ronner Proft scare tactics and start a real conversation. Oh, finally. It's time for that real conversation you've been looking for. Finally, a real conversation. Stop with the Ronner Proft scare tactics. Start a real conversation about how Illinois can leverage its tremendous assets to attract new residents. So there you go, Amy. And there's much more to it, but those are the lowlights. So you better tell your neighbor that's not why she's moving out.
Okay.
Jerry Morrison said so.
Oh, if Jerry says it, then it's got to be true.
So I have a little bit of confessing to do, though.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Because Jerry Morrison has outed me. So let me just own it, and then we can move on to have that real conversation. I always like everybody. They always want a real conversation that we need. Then why are people leaving? If they're not leaving because of the things that we talk about in this show, why are they leaving? I never hear an answer to a question. I just hear demagoguery because that's what they need to do. We're not powerful, but the information is. And if it gets out and people really start to connect the dots, that's when they're in trouble. I don't control anything. So why would Jerry Morrison mention me? Illinois Policy Institute doesn't control anything in terms of the machinery of government. So why would he mention them? Because the data, the evidence is irrefutable.
312-642-5600 is our turnkey.pro answer line. 64636, type in DA, then a quick question.
So, I mean, just to, I won't go through my full apology. You can see in my
sorry.
Facebook, but I mean, I just want to own up to a few things. The property tax bill you pay, like your neighbors that are moving.
Yeah, because I can't afford it.
I made it up.
Oh, right.
That's me.
Fake news. Okay.
The claims of mediocre, subpar, even catastrophic schools and school districts at exorbitant prices.
That's true.
Not true. That's me. Part of my elaborate
I
ruse.
just went high school shopping.
That's it was a mirage that I erected to fool you, because what is true, as Jerry Morrison has exposed, every kid in Illinois is a trained intellectual assassin. Teachers and administrators basically work for free, and in-state tuition for college is virtually gratis.
Yeah.
That's the truth. If you're an entrepreneur, by the way, small business owner, operator in Illinois, those work comp costs you think you're paying, that's on me. My sleight of hand. The sale price your home actually commanded? No.
No.
Come back. Come back home. That was more of my fiction. All of the policy making and policymakers for which you have a negative view, not their fault, my fault. Illinois Policy Institute's fault. The alleged ruling class Pauls like Madigan and Cullerton, Burke, Durkin, who've enriched themselves by leveraging their public office, I put that money in their bank accounts.
Oh.
It's on me. All right? So, come on, America. Don't answer that ABC question that the Tribune posed, and certainly don't leave. This is the land of milk and honey, Illinois. This is a modern-day Canaan, isn't it? Jeff in Gurnee.
Good morning, Dan. Good morning, Amy. The question, the direct question, Dan, direct answer to your question. When I see a truck leaving, as I explained to your call screener, is number one, obviously why, most likely the taxes, but more importantly, when they get to their destination state or city, are they going to continue with the same democratic voting process that caused their departure in the first place? You look at Austin, Texas, where it has become the second coming of the tech industry, and their motto is "Keep Austin Weird." And then they get liberals on the city council, and they want to outlaw barbecuing because the scent and the smoke offends people in their rightful neighborhoods.
Yeah, that's right.
Have a great day. I'll listen to your comments.
Thanks
you
for the call, Jeff. That's right. That's Champagne socialists who left the city for the North Shore. They flipped that 20 years ago. Californians going to Austin, as you're mentioning. By the way, Austin plagiarized that from Portland, their slogan. I bet they pushed Uber out, so your point is a legitimate one. And Jerry Morrison's that businesses, people don't move, because businesses are compiled with people, comprised with people. A business isn't some abstraction. It's a bunch of people working in a place, right? So, for example, when Alliance Bernstein Holding relocates its headquarters after 51 years on Wall Street to Nashville, Tennessee, this is one of the oldest names, most venerated names on Wall Street, moving from New York, the ostensible financial capital of the world, to Nashville, Tennessee, ending a 51-year presence in there, just like Art Laffer did from California to Nashville several years back, Brad Thor and others. But they don't move because of policy, quality of life at cost, at the particular price point. Oh, okay. Tom in Bolingbrook.
Morning, Dan and Amy. So I would vote for C, and a great example is yesterday Nashville held their primaries, or the whole state of Tennessee, and they had a big transit bill up. And the voters of Nashville, which is a solid purple, slightly bluish area, voted 2-1 to shoot down the program. And it just shows the mindset they have in different states. So why would you want to stay when you go somewhere else and they vote not to raise your taxes? It's a crazy idea.
Thanks, Tom. Glenn in Holland, Michigan.
Yes, hi. Based on your last clip there, I guess I'm not going to say a bad word, but ICD. It's about time, Father Mucker.
Oh my God. Thanks, Glad. That was nice. And Muck Fishigan while you're at it. Sheila in Downers Grove.
I'll be leaving the state of Illinois. I am a former teacher. I'm not happy with the educational system. I'm not happy with the political climate. And I'm moving to Texas. I'm done. I'm done with the state.
Thanks, Sheila.
It's a sinking ship.
Listen to podcasts of Dan and Amy from the AM 560 mobile app. Download it today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
Thousands of doctors, health specialists, and professionals recommend Balance of Nature as a way of improving their health. Listen to a few unsolicited success stories from doctors that use Balance of Nature as well.
Scientific research has shown that many cancers and lifestyle diseases can be prevented with a diet rich in fruits and vegetables. This prevention comes from the phytochemicals in the plants. I take Balance of Nature because I know, I've seen it in my lab, and I know that it works. I've seen the immune response increase, I've seen your DNA repair capacity increase, and I've seen DNA protection. And that, to me, as a scientist, rings so true.
When you call, use discount code CHICAGO, and we'll take 35% off your first month's order and ship it to you free. Call 1-800-246-8751. That's 1-800-246-8751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
Hey, Craig and Leslie here from In the Know. A great ball player doesn't just hit home runs. He puts the ball in play or gets on base every time he can. And that's what we want to do for you, so that you can be ready for your postseason play, your retirement.
That's why our whole team at Wealth Management Group has their game face on and is ready to help you.
Step up to the plate and make Wealth Management Group part of your financial force.
Start at investwithwmg.com and tune in each week to In the Know Sunday mornings at 10 right here on AM 560, The Answer.
Your local 1-hour heating and air conditioning knows how miserable it feels when your AC goes out. You want it fixed fast, fixed right, and get a fast quote. Unlike some companies, we don't give you a quote until we actually see what the problem is. Then we'll give you our straightforward price and always stand by our work. Right now, get savings on any AC repair. Call 855-1-HOUR.
Your comfort is just a call away. Call 1-HOUR.
Terms and conditions may apply. Call for details. Independently owned and operated. Licensed in the respective state or county.
We live in exciting times. The rapid evolution of technology in industrial robotic automation systems offers a multitude of solutions designed to give manufacturers a competitive advantage. From ergonomics, quality control, and the need to meet increased production goals while improving the lives of everybody on the factory floor, industrial robotic automation can mean increased profitability and higher quality jobs. Matrix Industrial Automation has built a reputation as an industry leader in developing, building, and installing a wide range of turnkey robotic automation systems. Manufacturers big and small local and worldwide, depend on Matrix to deliver the most optimal and robust industrial automation systems with improved ROI in mind. Nearly 2 decades of experience and hundreds of installed systems is why Matrix Industrial Automation, headquartered in Bartlett, Illinois, are the industrial automation experts. For information or to schedule a free automation consultation, visit matrixindustrialautomation.com or call 847-841-8260. That's matrixindustrialautomation.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy, golf outing June 14th, 100 Club of Chicago golf outing, that is, at Bolingbrook Golf Club. 312-363-6680 is the number to call. Purchase a foursome. Your business owner, manager, a person who makes marketing decisions for your company. It's a good deal, $1,196 for the foursome, and you get 25 60-second commercials to promote your business on our airwaves during prime broadcasting hours. And
proceeds go to the 100 Club of Chicago.
Right. And I just got a challenge coin from Joe Ahern,
I know.
which I love. It's beautiful, 100 Club of Chicago. And I was just asking him, I was probing, is this a get-out-of-jail-free card? And I wanted to see kind of what the threshold was, if it included Class X felonies, which ones. So I'm not getting a straight answer out of him. But maybe you'll get a get-out-of-jail-free card, too, from Joe.
No convictions, though.
No, right, yeah, never convicted. So, Joe, tell us just a little bit. We've talked about some of the families you've served who've lost a spouse, a parent in the line of service, but other things that you do for these families.
Well, this summer in August, the first Sunday in August, we have a 100 Club Family Day. I think this is the 6th year, Dan, where we invite all the family members in Cook and Lake County to go for a full day at the zoo. And the entire day is free. We had as many as 500 people there, extended family members. And it's really a powerful afternoon. We have all the family members march through a cordon of honor guards. All the honor guards in the municipalities that have lost a police officer or a firefighter send their honor guards there, and the families march through that cordon of honor guards, and they salute that family, all those family members, and then we go in and have a big, celebration.
And you told me about a touching story about a man who lost his father and.
Yeah, Amy,
check.
It was a couple of years ago. A fella came up to me after we spoke and had his wife in one hand, daughter in the other, and he had tears in his eyes, and he handed me a check, and he said, "I just want to tell you," he says, "that my dad died in the line of duty in 1967, and my mom still can't talk about it." And he said, "This is the first time I've ever connected with other 100 Club family members, and what a powerful day it's been for me." He said, "But my daughter said to me when I told her that we were going to the zoo, she goes, 'Oh, Dad, that's great, a free day at the zoo.'" And he looked at her and he said, "Honey, it's not a free day." He says, "There was a terrible price that was paid by your grandfather for us to be here." And it just brings it, in vivid reminder of the sacrifice that our police officers and their families make, protecting all of us. And so any chance we get to be able to celebrate them and to be with them is powerful.
And the way that you can help those police officers and their families in the Chicagoland area and have a little fun in the process is by participating in the golf outing, 312-363-6680. Again, Thursday, June 14th, Bolingbrook Golf Club. Come out, watch me throw clubs, see which Michelle Wee outfit Amy's going to wear.
Right.
It'll be fun.
312-363-6680. 312-363-6680. Become a business benefactor and help the 100 Club of Chicago. Thanks, Joe Ahern. Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Well, Trump is delaying his implementation of the steel and aluminum tariffs, and that should be good news to Steve Moore, shouldn't it? We'll ask him at 7:37.
But first, into the newsroom we go. Here's Mike Scott.
70 in clouds. President Trump's doctor claims he never wrote a glowing letter about president's health. During his campaign, Dr. Harold Bornstein spoke with NBC News.
He wrote it himself. And me, from where I come from, the end of it was just black humor. It wasn't meant to be a serious comment.
Bornstein again telling NBC his office was raided by the president's bodyguard and the president's medical records were seized, he says, without proper authorization. However, White House Press Secretary Sarah Sanders says it is standard procedure for the White House medical unit to take possession of a new president's medical records.
As is standard operating procedure for a new president, the White House Medical Unit took possession of the president's medical records.
Meantime, President Trump is happy with Chief of Staff John Kelly. Word from White House Press Secretary Sarah Sanders this morning, who also said Kelly right now is not being considered for Secretary of Veterans Affairs. High school students who support the Second Amendment are staging a walkout today. Students in over 40 states are expected to participate in the nationwide event called Stand for the Second. They'll walk out of class for 16 minutes. Dangerous weather, including a chance of more tornadoes, is threatening at least a half dozen states from the plains to the upper Midwest. Texas and 6 other states are suing the Trump administration over the DACA program.
Basically ordered the stopping of the rescinding of DACA, and actually ordered the continuation not only of renewals, but adding new people to the DACA program.
Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton. Demand for mortgages is down as interest rates hit their highest levels in nearly 5 years. Mortgage Bankers Association this morning reports total applications for home loans fell 2.5%. Crews are battling a fire at a recycling center in Forest View. No injuries at Lakeshore Recycling Systems. A 4-year-old girl is in stable condition after she was shot last night, sitting on the front porch on Chicago's south side of a home at 88th and Morgan. Former Chicago Public Schools Chief Paul Vallis formally launches his mayoral challenge to Rahm Emanuel today. And United Airlines plans to resume shipping pets as cargo in July, but will ban such animals like snub-nosed dogs that face a bigger health risk during flights. The airline saying it will only accept dogs and cats. It will ban 25 breeds, including pit bulls, boxers, bulldogs, pugs, and Persian cats. Rockies over the Cubs 3-1. Cardinals beat the White Sox at Busch 3-2. The news, a service of Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loans. Rocket Mortgage by Quicken is simple. You can understand the details and be sure you're getting the right mortgage. Apply simply, understand fully, mortgage confidently. Visit rocketmortgage.com today. Licensed in all 50 states. Equal housing lender and MLS number 3030. 7:35 on AM 560. Time for a dry basement and a healthy home. Time to call Permaseal, 800-421-SEAL. A check of traffic and weather is on the way next on AM 560.
The following is a paid political announcement.
I'm Mike Braun. Politics shouldn't be a career. We need folks with real-world experience who'll get the job done and come back home. I've always been a conservative Republican, and I'm running because President Trump paved the way. Together, we'll build the wall, defend our values, and end bad trade deals for American workers. And the only person I'll owe anything to is you. I'm Mike Braun. I approve this message, and I ask for your vote.
Paid for by Mike Braun for Indiana.
I'm Mike Braun. Politics shouldn't be a career. We need folks with real-world experience who'll get the job done and come back home. I've always been a conservative Republican, and I'm running because President Trump paved the way. Together, we'll build the wall, defend our values, and end bad trade deals for American workers. And the only person I'll owe anything to is you. I'm Mike Braun. I approve this message, and I ask for your vote.
Paid for by Mike Braun for Indiana.
Thousands of doctors, health specialists, and professionals recommend Balance of Nature as a way of improving their health. Listen to a few unsolicited success stories from doctors that not only recommend it, but use Balance of Nature as well.
In my practice, I was getting to the point where I couldn't have the strength to see that many patients anymore. I was diagnosed with sarcoidosis. It really affected my breathing and the strength that I had. And I was introduced to the fruits and veggies. Just slowly, my strength started to come back. And it was because of the good nutrition. I can't say enough good for Balance of Nature and what it's done for me. And I recommend it to everybody.
When you call, use discount code CHICAGO, and we'll take 35% off your first month's order and ship it to you free. Call 1-800-246-8751. That's 1-800-246-8751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
7:37. get an update on the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center with Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. The inbound Kennedy's jammed solid Harlem to the Burns Circle. We're looking at an hour and 20 minutes. Travel time from O'Hare to downtown. 50 minutes from Montrose, 45 in the Express. Outbound 45 to the airport. Aiden's 26 minutes. Lake Cook Junction outbound it's 30. Eisenhower an hour and 2 minutes. 390 to downtown. Outbound 52 minutes. Stevenson an hour and 12 minutes. 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Outbound 50 minutes. Ryan is 38 minutes. 95th to downtown. Northbound Tri-State bottled up Cicero to 47th. And from the Reagan Tollway to North Avenue. Reagan Tollway slow now. Naperville Road 355. The Patton Woods Memorial from I-55 most of the way to Roosevelt. Traffic service Staples. Staples help your business stand out with custom printed signs, banners, and brochures now through June 2nd. Spend $25 or more in store for a chance to win $1,000 worth of printed marketing services. Visit staples.com/SMB Week for rules. No purchase necessary. Must be 18 or older. Staples. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte. AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center. Cloudy, breezing, an afternoon shower or heavy thunderstorm with a high of 82. Heavy storms overnight are possible. Storms can bring flooding rains and damaging winds and a low of 64. Currently clouds and 70. Next news at 8. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by the Alpha Wealth Group, bringing the trilogy of estate, tax, and investment planning together. Visit alphawealthgroup.com for a free report.
If you're looking for the latest news, insight into what it means, and the sharpest opinion, there's only one station in Chicago where you can turn, and it's this one. We're AM 560, The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy. So the EU got a stay of taxation not afforded China, Russia, Japan, and others when President Trump pulled back on designs to implement his 25% tariff on steel, 10% tariff on foreign aluminum. It did not take effect yesterday for EU countries, giving Europe more time to keep talking with the United States about a trade pact to avoid tariffs. So that's good news, isn't it, Steve Moore? Isn't it, Steve Moore? Let's ask Steve Moore.
Hi, Dan.
Hey, Steve.
Hi, Dan.
Is it good?
Hi, Steve.
Hello.
Good news. Good news about delaying implementation of tariffs on the EU.
Yeah, it is good news, but I think it's only a 30-day reprieve or something like that.
Right.
So, it's the day of judgment is still coming. Look, I think steel tariffs are a stupid idea. I think they're counterproductive. If only because if you want to save jobs in the Midwest in states like Michigan and Ohio and, Pennsylvania and some of those Rust Belt states, you're not going to do it by imposing steel tariffs because for every steel producing job you save, you probably are going to cost, 3 or 4 jobs in the manufacturing sector. And so it doesn't make a lot of sense. I think the big story, though, is that my buddy Larry Kudlow is now, I think, on Air Force One he's not on Air Force One, but he is flying to China because there are some big negotiations starting tomorrow on the, potentially a new trade pact with Beijing, and that will be monumentally important in terms of how this relationship between China and the United States evolves over the next number of years, if not decades.
Well, what kind of changes are they seeking?
Well, look, first of all, China's going to have to make concessions here. There's just no question about it. In fact, I talked to Larry yesterday before he left, and we were just chatting about it. And look, Larry's a free trader. I'm a free trader. You guys are free traders. But, China is out of control right now. They need to be reined back. They need to, stop stealing and cheating on the trade deals. And they steal everything. It's, they're a total copycat economy. So if China's going to have to pull back on some of these things and be cooperative. And if they aren't, then I think Trump will impose tariffs and other penalties against them. As I told Larry right before he left, I said, look, the best of all worlds is, get Beijing to back down a little bit here. They imposed gigantic tariffs and non-tariff trade barriers against U.S. goods and services. They do steal things all the time, and they steal our technologies, our drugs, our vaccines, our computer software, all of this stuff, and they don't pay for it. It's a big problem for the American economy and for our security as well. So, I think the bottom line here, Amy, is that China is going to have to make concessions, and if they don't, I think it's going to get, we don't use the word trade war. We don't use that, but this trade dispute could get hotter.
It's a cultural touchstone when it's parodied in popular sitcoms like Silicon Valley, where the Chinese national that's part of the incubator in Silicon Valley is just new Reddit, new Facebook, new Twitter. Those are his big ideas, just putting new in front of American companies.
Exactly. No, but that's true. That's actually exactly what they do. I mean, the Chinese are incredibly hardworking people. They're incredibly entrepreneurial, but they're not innovators. America, we're the leading innovator country in the world, and so you're exactly right. I haven't seen that episode of Silicon Valley, but that's exactly what they do. And I think I may have told the story a couple weeks ago on your show, but there are a number of if you go to China, you'll see like American companies' insignia and logos on the front of a factory, and it's not even it has no relationship. They're just stealing the logo and the copyright and the name. It's like you and I could start a McDonald's. We just put a golden arches up and call ourselves McDonald's.
Well, that's why we changed the name of our show. I don't know if we told you, but our show is now the Rush Limbaugh Show.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know if you.
No, it's Rush, the new improved.
The new,
Rush Limbaugh too, right?
Rush Limbaugh.
The new bow is what we're.
Well, and so with respect to Larry Kudlow going over to China, though, so that's consistent with what Kudlow has said from the beginning here, since he came on as Trump's top economic advisor, which is that the tariff discussion is part of a long-term growth play. That's his desire.
Well, that's right, and it is. I mean, look, the trade agenda is really important to Trump. He genuinely believes that. Now, look, the one thing I try to get Trump off of, and Larry does too. Trump is very obsessed with the trade deficit, and in my opinion, that's not really an important issue. It really is important is the level of trade. Are we importing and exporting? The more trade, the better, right? I mean, and so we got to get Trump off this idea that the trade deficit is a problem, because do you know when the trade deficit, Dan and Amy, goes down the most? When we're in a recession.
Right.
When the economy goes into recession, the trade deficit goes down, and when the economy is booming, the trade deficit goes up. So we used to half jokingly tell Trump, look, if you want to get the trade deficit down, you don't have to have all these tariffs and stuff. Just have a good long recession, and the trade deficit will go down. I mean, the correlation between the two is very high. And so when America does well, American consumers have money, they buy things. They go to Walmart and they buy stuff from China and Japan and these other countries. And by the way, Japan is another country that they'll be going to soon. Japan has more, Japan is the most protectionist country in the world. It's almost impossible to get goods and services sold in Japan because the tariffs are so high. So I think Trump does have a point. I know you're cringing when I say this, Dan, but I think Trump does have a point that these other countries are not playing by the rules. And it is, Trump would say, look, it's not free trade. Milton Friedman would probably say, well, we should just get rid of our trade barriers and they can do what they want. And there's something to that. But, if you want a fair and balanced trade system, they've got to bring their tariffs down, and a lot of these countries have not done that.
Well, that's true. He's pointing to the right problem. He's applying the wrong remedy, though. I'm in the Friedman camp on that. And the other thing that's problematic about it, too, from sort of an economic political perspective is, and we talked about this a little bit earlier in the show on another matter, but Peter Koklanis has a good piece in the Claremont Institute, the Claremont Review of Books. There's a lot of this free trade rhetoric is just another version of identity politics. The same way that the left plays identity politics with race, Trump's sort of playing identity politics with white working class, and identity politics is a dead end.
Well, I haven't read that article, but I will say this, that, I did travel with Trump to those states like Michigan, Ohio, and Pennsylvania, and these unionized factory workers and blue-collar workers, and they weren't just white. They were black. They were Hispanic. They really do believe that the trade deals aren't working for them, and that the reason that the factory left Erie, Pennsylvania, or Rockford, Illinois, or whatever little small town it might be, is because of trade. And look, they are probably wrong on that because, look, technology is having a much bigger impact on manufacturing than trade does in terms of, we're so much more productive that you have fewer workers producing more things. That's called economic progress. But, look, I would say this. I think Trump, if Trump can pull this off, if he can get these other countries to reduce their trade barriers to the United States, then it's a win-win for everybody, and then the stock market goes through the roof.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, I want to mention one other thing, if I may, which is I'm very, very upset with a certain United States senator who is a Republican. Do you know who I'm talking about?
There's so many to choose from. You're going to have to be more specific.
Well, I'm talking about Marco Rubio. And did you see what he said yesterday?
I was in Naples vacation.
Oh, come on.
Then you
guys,
should have known.
Amy, did you see it?
No,
you guys, okay,
I was watching Trump's crazy doctor.
I was playing golf.
So Marco Rubio said yesterday that the tax cut is not working, and that all the benefits are going to rich people, and that it's all these companies like Apple are just paying out dividends to the shareholders and they're not reinvesting and so on. It was like, wait a minute, are you reading out of the DNC talking points, Marco? I mean, now remember we had a little spat with Marco right before the tax bill passed because he wanted a bigger child tax credit and we wanted more rate cuts, and I think he's being a little sour grapes here. He hasn't gotten over the fact that Trump beat him in the primaries, but this is bad for the. I think Marco Rubio's star has faded so rapidly.
Yeah.
By the way, he's completely wrong. Companies are investing. I mean, the American economy right now is surging. It is firing on all cylinders. There's 6 million more jobs today than there are people that can fill the jobs. We have 14 states, by the way, that have the lowest unemployment rate ever. And by the way, Dan and Amy, Illinois is not one of them.
Yeah.
But
Right.
you go around the country, it is amazing what's going on with this economy, and the tax cuts played a big part. So I wanted to set the record straight there.
No,
Right, and next time we'll talk about the high gas prices. Every time I go to the pump, it's 10 cents more, 15 cents more.
California is organizing a ballot initiative against gas tax, and there's but going back to Florida.
Wait, say that again. I didn't hear that. What are they doing?
Well, California, they got whatever the 42 million signatures they need to get a question on the ballot opposing a gas tax increase there.
Oh, yeah, right.
Yeah.
Well, look, the economy is booming right now. I am a little nervous about these rising energy prices. No question about it. I mean, now we're back to $3.25. It depends on what state you're in. I think California, they pay $4 a gallon for gas because of all their stupid environmental regulations. But, that's a little troublesome because as gas prices rise, it means, other costs rise because, energy is an input in everything. But there's good news in that story. My column this week is how about OPEC. OPEC is dead. OPEC is the United States of America, this great country of ours, thanks to the shale oil and gas revolution. By the end of this year, we will be the number one producer of oil and gas in the world, surpassing Saudi Arabia. That's an amazing accomplishment in 10 years.
Yeah, it's true. And if this energy price continue to creep up, I got a solution. And it's consistent with Comrade Bernie. We just celebrated May Day yesterday. That was so great. So everybody's going to get a job with the federal government, and then everybody's going to get a federal government-financed Tesla. And then everything will be good.
And it'll be free.
Exactly.
It'll be free.
Wall Street Journal columnist, Heritage Foundation economist, Steve Moore. Thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Okay, guys, have a great week. See you, Rush Limbaugh.
And he joined us on
Rush Limbaugh.
Yeah. He joined us on our new Turnkey.pro answer line.
The more you listen, the more you'll know. This is Chicago's Morning Answer. Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Thousands of doctors, health specialists, and professionals recommend Balance of Nature as a way of improving their health. Listen to a few unsolicited success stories from doctors that not only recommend it, but use Balance of Nature as well.
I look at Balance of Nature and I look what it's doing for me as I've started taking it, and for the patients that I have that are taking it, and it's been phenomenal watching the changes that have happened and how much healthier and how much more energy that they have. I haven't heard any negative feedback from any of my patients who have been taking the product. And the thing that amazes me with it is that it's so simple.
When you call, use discount code CHICAGO, and we'll take 35% off your first month's order and ship it to you free. Call 1-800-246-8751. That's 1-800-246-8751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
Americans in every tax bracket got a tax cut thanks to the tax bill signed into law last year. We were just discussing with Steve Moore. The economy is growing, wages are rising, Americans feeling better about the future, and you've got more money to spend on what's important to you and your priorities. It's your money, after all. But Democrats in Congress who voted against the tax cuts are promising to raise your taxes if they win in November, which Nancy Pelosi has predicted. They want to take your money back to spend on their priorities. Only you can stop them. To find out how much more of your money you get to keep instead of sending it to D.C., go to taxcutswork.com now. It's an easy-to-use calculator. It will tell you how much money the new tax cuts are saving you this year. Check your savings at taxcutswork.com. Then send a letter to Congress telling them to keep their grubby hands off your tax cut savings. Go to taxcutswork.com because the money you're saving is yours. Go to taxcutswork.com. Check your savings and let Congress know you want to keep your savings.
Shoot Point Blank is Chicago's leading shooting range and firearms store. Featuring 20 climate-controlled shooting lanes, complete retail store, and firearm education classes for all experience levels. Whether you're a new or expert shooter, now you can experience the Shoot Point Blank difference and see for yourself why so many people are talking about Shoot Point Blank.
I can tell you, I was impressed as soon as I walked through the door. The employees were really helpful, very patient, and knowledgeable, too.
My wife and I had a wonderful experience. We felt very comfortable and informed.
Brett was very friendly and respectful, and he answered all my questions. Because I'm new to pistols, I'm grateful he was patient and helped me decide what to buy for my new firearm.
For a huge selection of new and used firearms, ammo, and state-of-the-art indoor shooting range, visit them in Hodgkins, Mokina, Naperville, or Merrillville. Or check out shootpointblank.com. Experience the difference. Shoot Point Blank.
This is Dan Proft with 60 Seconds of Sanity for Upstream-Ideas.com. I'm an inquisitive sort. I want to understand the left, but I have questions. When it comes to your concern that law enforcers not be above the law, is that just for beat cops, or does it extend to senior-level officials at the nation's most powerful law enforcement agency? I ask because I haven't heard the date announced for the Andy McCabe protests. When it comes to treating the Constitution like an Asian buffet, are there limits to the application of the sanctuary designation? I ask because Effingham County, Illinois, voted to make their jurisdiction a sanctuary county for Second Amendment rights to protect the rights of their residents to protect themselves. I understand you to be stalwart defenders of a free press now. Could you share your conversion story? I ask because of your silence when Obama Attorney General Eric Holder surveilled and subpoenaed Fox News reporter James Rosen, and when Patrick Fitzgerald imprisoned New York Times reporter Judith Miller in the Scooter Libby case, to cite but just two examples. Thank you in advance for helping me distinguish your virtue from your virtue signaling.
Quality doors and windows are one of the smartest investments you can make. They improve your home's appearance and save you money on energy bills year-round. Say goodbye to high-pressure sales tactics and enjoy the best window and door experience with Next Door and Window. Call now and schedule your free quote, 630-590-1370, or go online to nextdoorandwindow.com. Next Door and Window has wood-clad, vinyl, and fiberglass windows and doors. Their staff will help you find exactly what you want. Right now, get 10% off windows and doors with no money down and no payments for 1 year. Call 630-590-1370 or go to nextdoorandwindow.com to schedule your free quote. Choose from 3 showrooms in Chicagoland, Arlington Heights, Burr Ridge, and Naperville. Call 630-590-1370 or go to nextdoorandwindow.com to schedule your free quote and for finance qualifications.
Next Door and Window, thousands of options, one perfect fit.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy, our annual golf outing Thursday, June 14th at Bolingbrook Golf Club. Very good track. 100 Club of Chicago golf outing. 312-363-6680 to get in our business benefactor program, Amy, like some have already.
Yes, some such as Gone Capital Management. We want to thank Marty Gone. He just signed up for a foursome. And with that, it's $1,196. The proceeds go to the 100 Club of Chicago. But also, as a way of saying thank you, we will give you 25 one-minute commercials that will air right here. We can voice them for you. You can voice them yourself, but they'll air right here. We don't shove you on the weekends. It's Monday through Sunday, I should say. on AM 560 The Answer. And it's a $3,000 value. Yours for only $1,196. But you'll also get a great day of golf, 7 a.m. shotgun, 2:30 shotgun start, a luncheon, and again, the proceeds go to the 100 Club of Chicago.
And I'm happy to voice your commercial doing my Truman Capote impersonation.
Oh, could you give us a little bit of that? Because your foursome that bought you is golf.
Golfgear.golf.
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 All right, so do something for golfgear.golf.
Oh, well, I was just going to do my Truman Capote.
Oh, okay.
I'm a homosexual. I'm a drug addict. I'm a genius. I don't know how. I'll have to work on the golf gear. I'll have to ask him what he wants me to profile in that voice.
Yes.
Yeah. Joe Ahern, the CEO of 100 Club of Chicago, unfortunately had to bear witness to what just happened here.
Sorry.
Joe, thanks for joining us again. Great to partner with you for this golf outing in service of the families that your organization serves. And a big day coming up in Springfield.
On
Tell us about
Thursday,
it. Tomorrow, I guess, yeah.
Police officers will be gathering in Springfield, Illinois. National recognition, certainly in Springfield for all the police officers that have passed in the line of duty over the last year. And also in past years, they will recognize those police officers and their families in Springfield, Illinois tomorrow. And then on Mother's Day, traveling to Washington, D.C., for the national recognition of police officers. That's at the National Mall, and they have a candlelight vigil there, which is very powerful. There's about 50,000 police officers that attend that, and I'm traveling with the Emerald Society, which is the Chicago Police Pipes and Drums Band.
Yeah.
And all the pipes and drums bands from around the country will be there. And our Chicago Emerald Society band is the host band for all those pipes and drums bands. It's going to be quite a gala.
And it's important because you need our help. I mean, over the, 5 decades, you've helped 261 families, but the benefits have exceeded $10 million. So you always need financial support to keep your good work going.
Well, Amy, thank you. And Dan, for what you do for us with the AM 560 and the golf outing. All that money goes to the 100 Club, and it allows us to continue the work that we do. So we're very, very grateful. I know I speak on behalf of all of our family members and our police officers and firefighters in Cook and Lake County. We are very, very grateful for what you do.
And that number again, 312-363-6680, 312-363-6680 to purchase a foursome and support the 100 Club of Chicago.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer,
we're going to talk to the student organizer of the Stand for the Second Amendment walkout that's happening at 300 high schools around the country today at 8:08.
But first, here's Mike Scott.
Crews on the scene of a Forest View Recycling Center fire. WIND Chicago News Time is 8 o'clock.
A setup and trap. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. That's what President Trump calls any obstruction of justice claim in the Russia investigation, which he again labeled a witch hunt, again tweeting no collusion and a hoax, after we learned the special counsel sent him more than 50 questions to answer.
Special counsel Mueller has threatened the president with a grand jury subpoena to force him to answer questions back in a meeting that happened in March. This, according to the president's former lead attorney, John Dowd, who confirmed saying at the meeting, "This isn't some game. You are screwing with the work of the president of the United States."
Fox's Griff Jenkins. More migrants from that caravan camped out at the Mexican border seeking asylum here have been allowed in for processing. 28. Customs and Border Protection Commissioner Kevin McAleenan says that San Ysidro entry point is our busiest one.
Over 100,000 travelers a day coming through that port. It's our largest port for drug seizures on the southwest border, and it's one of the busiest for finding inadmissible persons, those that have fraudulent documents or no right to enter.
A federal judge wants Iran to pay for 9/11. Ruling in favor of some victims' families who sued, claiming Iran helped the terrorist hijackers. He ordered each surviving spouse to get $12 million, $8 million each for parents and children, $4 million for siblings. But it's considered very unlikely Iran will ever pay them a penny. What would be the strictest abortion law in the country is a signature away in Iowa. Fox's Jeff Manasso has this live.
Dave, Iowa's Republican-controlled state Senate fast-tracked a vote this morning on a so-called heartbeat bill that seeks to ban most abortions once a fetal heartbeat is detected. A bill the Republican-controlled Iowa House approved hours earlier, and legislation that would effectively ban most abortions around 6 weeks of pregnancy before critics say some women even know they're pregnant. Republican Governor Kim Reynolds hasn't said if she'll sign the law that critics also say would be challenged. Dave.
Jeff, a similar law was struck down in court in North Dakota 5 years ago. Fox News, fair and balanced.
Cloudy skies, 71 degrees at 8:02 on AM 560. The Answer. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott. Crews mopping up after battling a fire overnight at a recycling center in Forest View. Rubbish blaze broke out last night at Lakeshore Recycling Systems. No injuries have been reported. 2 Chicago men are accused of killing 2 men over the weekend in Elgin. Travarius Stevenson and Lee Spain were charged yesterday with murder in the shooting deaths of Mark McDaniel and Raymond Dyson. Officials say the number of students from Andrew High School who became sick after a recent prom event at the Shedd Aquarium is now at 111. 5 women paramedics with the Chicago Fire Department are suing. They're suing over claims they were sexually harassed by their bosses. The suit also claims there's a code of silence in the fire department that encourages illegal behavior by failing to discipline officers. The former owner of a Chicago tanning salon is guilty of raping an ex-employee in 2009. Mark Winter was convicted yesterday of criminal sexual abuse and criminal sexual assault. Victim Justine Bauer spoke after Winter was convicted.
With this guilty verdict today, I am just very happy to say that Mark Winter has finally lost.
Bauer testified that Winter raped her in his apartment after dragging her from his now defunct West Loop Salon Soleil. We'll watch today. Former Chicago Schools Chief Paul Vallis formally throw his hat into the ring to challenge Mayor Rahm Emanuel in Chicago. Rockies beat the Cubs 3-1. Cardinals over the White Sox at Busch 3-2. It is 8:03 and time for the AM 560 Business Beat. From the Fox Business Network, a service of Turnkey.pro, here's Jenny Casola.
From the Fox Business Network, the Federal Reserve wraps up a 2-day meeting today, but is expected to leave interest rates unchanged. Apple is reporting a stronger than expected quarter. It's raising its quarterly dividend by $0.10 per share, and it's buying back $100 billion worth of its stock. The move is expected to drive up Apple's stock price. Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg kicked off a developer conference in San Jose by revealing new features: video chat for Instagram, a dating service, and a way to clear your browsing history from Facebook. Zuckerberg did not apologize for the company's recent privacy scandal. Healthcare company Humana is reporting a better than expected quarter. Humana now says this year will be stronger than forecast. The Dow dropped 64 points yesterday. The Nasdaq added 64. The S&P gained 6. With the Fox Business Report, I'm Jenny Cosola.
8:04, a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
On AM 560, The Answer. Your opinion counts. And we want to know how you feel about the news stories we're talking about each and every day. Make sure to vote in the M13 Graphics Opinion Express poll at 560theanswer.com. Listen for today's poll question at 10:30 a.m., 12:30 p.m., and 3:30 p.m. and hear the results each evening at 5:30. It's the M13 Graphics Opinion Express poll on 560theanswer.com.
Dan Proft here, and I'm here with my guy, Ryan Kelly, at thehomeloanexpert.com. Ryan, I know serving those who serve our country is really important to you. You're always looking for ways to help our troops. Tell our listeners about your new program, Hero Loan for Military Families.
This is one that we're really proud of. And we've done VA loans since the beginning of time. And the problem is when you're waiting on the VA, and I'm not trash talking them or anything along those lines, but you are just what I said, you're waiting. And I think the average turn time to get a VA loan closed with most lenders is 60 to 90 days. And we thought that was ridiculous. So 2 years ago, I started the application with the VA, and I just received the highest delegation that they can bestow on a lender, meaning I can now process, underwrite, close, and fund all VA loans in-house. What does that mean for the veterans and the service members and their families? I close VA loans in 14 days, and I even pay for the appraisal. If you're looking for a VA loan, apply online today at hero.loan. That's hero.loan, the only way to VA. The Home Loan Expert LLC.
Let's see here. Fire protection?
Check.
Uniforms, mats, and restroom products.
Check.
First aid cabinets and safety products.
Check.
Great! So it sounds like we're ready to go.
No, when I said check, I meant we still need to check on all those things.
Just call Cintas. They can handle all of it. It's what they do.
Okay, call Cintas. Check. I mean, got it.
Learn how Cintas can help you get ready for the workday. Visit Cintas.com.
When you're hiring, you don't want to sort through dozens of irrelevant resumes. You want an efficient way to get to a short list of qualified candidates. That's why you need Indeed.com. Post a job in minutes. Set up screener questions based on your job requirements. Then zero in on qualified candidates using our intuitive online dashboard. Discover why 3 million businesses use Indeed for hiring. Post a job today at Indeed.com/hire. Search for greatness. Search Indeed.
8:07. Let's get an update on your morning ride to work, and we do that in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center with Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. The inbound Kennedy is really heavy from Harlem to the Burn Circle. It is an hour and 20 minutes, O'Hare to downtown. 50 minutes from Montrose, 45 in the Express, and outbound 45 to the airport. 8 and 26 minutes from Lake Cook to the Kennedy, outbound 30 minutes. Mount Eisenhower, an hour and 2 minutes, 390 to downtown, outbound 52 minutes. Stevenson, an hour and 12 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound 50 minutes. Ryan, 36 minutes, 95 to downtown. I-57, 34 minutes, I-80 to the merge, Bishop 428. Northbound Tri-State, knotted up from Cicero to 47th, from Reagan Tollway to North Avenue. Reagan Tollway to Lays, Farnsworth Field, Raymond to Yackley. Northbound Veterans Memorial, heavy from I-55 most of the way to Roosevelt, and also heavy from the Army Trail Toll to 290. Traffic service of Lowe's. Pro customers at Lowe's save 5% every day. Use your Lowe's business credit account. That's 5% on all purchases in-store or online. Subject to credit approval, U.S. only. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center with our meteorologist, Alex Rabb.
Today is mostly cloudy, increasingly windy with a shower or thunderstorm around and a high of 80. Tonight's very cloudy, breezy, and warm with a strong thunderstorm and a low of 65. I'm Alexandra Rabb on AM 560. The Answer.
Currently 71 at O'Hare. Next news 8:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560. The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Papa Nicholas Coffee. Papa Nicholas, best beans, best roast, best coffee.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. As Mike Scott has been reporting, we've got a little defensive action, if you will, happening at high schools around the country today. Stand for the Second. More than 300 high schools in 40 states staging school walkouts, a la Parkland and the walkouts for Parkland several weeks back, in support of the Second Amendment. Support of the Second Amendment.
Oh.
Led by high school students.
Oh, I wonder if they're going to be penalized for walking out of school.
Or called Hitler, like that Kyle Kashuv in Parkland has been called by those who don't share his view of the individual right to self-protection. But it's important to know that, young people, high school students, like the population in general, there's a diversity of opinion. David Hogg does not speak for every 18-year-old in this country. And we're pleased to be joined by Will Riley, who's the organizer of this student group, Stand for the Second, and has put together, largely put together, I'm sure with some help, this walkout around the country today. Will, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you for having me on.
So you're a senior from New Mexico, and what was the impetus for you to launch this effort that's culminating today?
Well, really, I saw the response of the Parkland students after the horrible tragedy that occurred there, and then I see the depiction of our generation by the media as an anti-gun generation, And then, of course, that emboldens former Supreme Court Justice Stevens to come out and call for the repeal of the Second Amendment.
Right.
And it was at that point that I decided that something had to be done.
And so how did you, did you take what the other walkouts in support of the Parkland survivors, did you see that and think, you know what, I need to do something for our Second Amendment rights?
Right. Yeah. I think, we aren't trying to disrupt education. And the reason we decided on a walkout is because around the country, school districts condoned or even actively promoted the anti-gun walkouts. And so I think it's important that we discover viewpoint discrimination in schools around the country. Already we're hearing reports of, they're saying, oh, well, you'll be expelled if you participate in this, but you would be heavily encouraged to participate in the other one. If that is the case, that is a legal and constitutional issue. And so we do have, we are trying to get some of our people around the country who have suffered from viewpoint discrimination in touch with lawyers to make sure that they're going to be okay.
Right. You've broke the seal. You've established the standard, so we should be able to benefit from the same standard, I guess, that's been established per the March for Our Lives and National Day of Action stuff. How did you get connected to students from all these high schools around the country? Is this largely kind of social media, spontaneous order?
Yeah, well, that's pretty much what happened through social media. Mostly, and putting up a website and spreading on, really just telling people, spread word of mouth, making calls. That's really just how it ended up spreading. We now actually have more than 400 schools signed up.
Oh, 400,
and
great.
That is the last I checked, and it may be growing very fast. I know we just got featured on Fox News last night and then again this morning, so that we may be growing faster than I know.
And what's your background in terms of why is the Second Amendment and protecting individual right to self-protection so important to you?
Well, as far as I'm concerned, the entire Constitution is important. All of our rights are important. But the reason that I did choose to speak out about the Second Amendment is because that is the one that, number one, is most under attack. And two, it's because, the students are so involved in this debate. The argument's being made that gun control legislation is something that is for the kids. And, people ask me, why don't you stand up for another constitutional issue? Well, if people were saying, I don't know, something about, free speech, I guess, regulation is something that's being done for the kids, then obviously I'd stand up for that. But, at this time, I really think that this is a special case.
So what's the game plan? For in March of Our Lives and for the National Day of Action, they went out at 10 o'clock. They stood there for 17 minutes, 1 minute for each victim, and then went back inside. What are you going to do?
Well, we symbolically asked for 16 minutes, and that's because we're saying we're not even going to ask for as much as they received. We just want an opportunity to also have our side of the story heard. And so we are also advising 10 a.m. However, around the country, I know a lot of people have state testing or they have finals. And if they walk out during those, it will invalidate their tests. And so we're advising people change the time if that's necessary. In fact, in my hometown, we have changed the time to like about 3:30.
Yeah, you got to get the people walking out back in because they're the ones who are literate. Otherwise, the curve is going to be blown. 65% of kids in this country can't can't read or do math at grade level, so they need the pro-Second Amendment students, don't they?
Right.
So how are you being received at your school in New Mexico?
Well, I think as far as the administration, they were a little hesitant at first, but now they are on board. As far as the other students, I think the majority of the students that at least have spoken to me, I'm sure some disagree with me, but they haven't really been very vocal. They're just happy that they have a platform, and that's what I've been hearing from around the country is that people are happy that they now have a platform to express their view because they did feel that they were being misrepresented.
Well, are you concerned that somebody will be bullied or hazed or anything that would happen if they, because in Illinois that probably would be shunned upon if somebody walked out today for their Second Amendment rights, if they'd even let them walk out. But do you think that that's going to happen? Do you anticipate that happening in any part of the country?
It may happen. I know we have some schools in Illinois and some in Chicago, I'm pretty sure. And so I would want to say to those people specifically, they're very brave. And, the people who are standing against probably their peers and also their administrations to stand up for our rights, there's only one way to describe them, and that's to call them patriots.
There you go. He is Will Riley. He is the organizer of Stand for the Second, standforthesecond.com. More than 400 high schools now around the country, 16-minute walkouts at some point today in defense of individual right to self-protection, Second Amendment rights. Will, congratulations on your success doing this. You're a patriot. You're courageous, too, and we appreciate your organizational prowess and what you've put together for today.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
Support the 100 Club of Chicago when you buy a foursome at AM 560's annual golf outing. Today only. Call 312-363-6680 or online at 560theanswer.com/golf.
Today it's going to be sunny right now, but we're going to have some clouds roll through here. Showers, possibly a heavy thunderstorm late this afternoon. A balmy high of 82 degrees. Tonight, heavy thunderstorms late. Storms can bring some flooding and high winds, a low of 64. And tomorrow, a little cooler around here, a high of 73 degrees with a couple of showers. Let's get into the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Any hot spots on the roadways? Here's Jim Telemonte.
Well, Amy, yes, indeed. Southbound of 41 in Highland Park. 2 left lanes are closed. South of Playview with a pavement buckle. The 2 left lanes blocked. They're supposed to be fixed sometime today. Inbound Kennedy's really heated up. It is an hour and 20 minutes to get from O'Hare to downtown. 50 minutes from Montrose and 45 in the Express. Outbound 45 to the airport. Eden's 21 minutes, Lake Cook to Junction, outbound 34. In Mount Ike, an hour and 5 minutes, 390 to downtown. 45 minutes from Manheim, outbound 50 to 390. Stevenson, an hour and 12 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. The Ryan's now 40 minutes, 95 to downtown. Southbound Lakeshore Drive, delays from Foster to North Avenue, 34 minutes, Hollywood to Monroe. Northbound Tri-State bottled up, Cicero to 47th, and from the Reagan Tollway to North Avenue. Northbound Veterans Memorial from I-55, most of the way to Roosevelt, then from the Army Trail Toll to 290. I'm Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
Some text reaction from our interview with Will Riley. 708, good for this kid. The only way to fight back against the gun grabbers is to fight back. Great kid. Text from 847. That kid should get to shoot at any range for free for the rest of his life. I like that.
You're a homeowner. They often say their basements only leak when it rains. Well, rain is coming tonight and tomorrow, and you don't worry about your living room getting wet, do you? Then why do you want to worry about your basement? Permaseal believes that your basement should be dry all of the time, no matter how hard it rains. You can have a permanently dry basement, so give Permaseal a call at 800-421-SEAL, S-E-A-L. They offer a free estimate and transferable warranties, so you can rest assured you're getting the best value. Back in 1979, Roy Spencer started Permaseal, and it's still a local Chicagoland business whose purpose is to make the whole world a better place, one basement or crawl space at a time. Your basement is already dry some of the time, but if you want it dry all of the time, you know who to call. Permaseal, 800-421-SEAL. That's 800-421-7325, or go to permaseal.net.
Shoot Point Blank is Chicago's leading shooting range and firearms store. Featuring 20 climate-controlled shooting lanes, complete retail store, and firearm education classes for all experience levels. Whether you're a new or expert shooter, now you can experience the Shoot Point Blank difference and see for yourself why so many people are talking about Shoot Point Blank.
I can tell you, I was impressed as soon as I walked through the door. The employees were really helpful, very patient, and knowledgeable, too.
My wife and I had a wonderful experience. We felt very comfortable and informed.
Brett was very friendly and respectful, and he answered all my questions. Because I'm new to pistols, I'm grateful he was patient and helped me decide what to buy for my new firearm.
For a huge selection of new and used firearms, ammo, and state-of-the-art indoor shooting range, visit them in Hodgkins, Mokina, Naperville, or Merrillville. Or check out shootpointblank.com. Experience the difference. Shoot Point Blank.
The following is a paid political announcement.
Have you met the Swamp Brothers? Congressman Todd Rokita and Congressman Luke Messer. You already know their stories. Todd Rokita and Luke Messer are two lawyers who never practiced and became career politicians. What makes them Swamp Brothers? It's their records in Washington. In Congress, Todd Rokita and Luke Messer voted to fast-track Obama's bad trade deals which could have cost Indiana thousands of jobs. And Todd Rokita and Luke Messer voted for billions in new debt, $500 billion to be exact. But there's more, and it's even worse. Todd and Luke voted to fund abortion provider Planned Parenthood and Obama's executive amnesty. Todd's no conservative. He's a fraud. Luke's no conservative. He's a liberal. Todd the fraud. Luke the liberal. The Swamp Brothers. Wrong for you.
I'm Mike Braun, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Mike Braun for Indiana.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
I went to have my blood test done a few weeks ago, and I met the doctor, and he was really encouraged by my progress, and I showed him what I was taking, and he started looking at all the ingredients, and he said, I'm really impressed with the shiitake mushroom. And he said, this stuff, it could clean out your arteries. And I'm like, oh, wow. He said, you may be onto something here. And he said, you just keep that up, and maybe you can start cutting back on your medication. And he says, you're helping your health by doing that. And I'm like, whoa, endorsement by the doctor.
When you call, use discount code CHICAGO, and we'll take 35% off your first month's order and ship it to you free. Call 1-800-246-8751. That's 1-800-246-8751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy, and today is the day we are giving you an opportunity to join us for a round of golf and to do some good for local, state, and federal law enforcement in Chicagoland. Our 100 Club of Chicago golf outing is Thursday, June 14th at the Bolingbrook Golf Club. And Amy, tell our friends and the listening audience how they can participate.
Well, we're going to have a full day of golf, 7:30 a.m., as you mentioned, or 2:30 shotgun start. Everyone receives an excellent lunch. There's a silent auction. And if you want to become a business benefactor, here's the deal. It's $1,196 for a foursome. The proceeds go to the 100 Club of Chicago. That's why it's called the 100 Club of Chicago Golf Outing. And as a way of saying thank you, we give you 25 60-second commercials to promote your business right here on AM 560. Dan, it's a $3,000 value in advertising for just $1,196. It is the best deal in Chicagoland radio right now. As a way to promote your business, to take your business to the next level, to let us know about your products. So the number to call is 312-363-6680. Can't say the number enough. 312-363-6680. If you're listening to us on your way to work, once you get to work, maybe talk to your marketing director or your boss and say, hey, we need to get involved in this. People that have already signed up, Marty Gone from Gone Capital Management. We also have your friends at the accounting firm. What is GC? What's
PCG.
It?
It's not an accounting. It's a consulting firm.
Oh.
They do like permit expediting downtown, so people can actually build stuff or open a restaurant or whatnot in the city. That's Bill Gritzonis, PCG Consulting. They're great. Waukegan Roofing. You're playing with Waukegan Roofing. I'm playing with Dean Matz, who's golfgear.golf.
There's also Storelock has signed up. So be like one of the cool kids. Sign up, help a great cause, and have a great day of golf.
312-363-6680. 312-363-6680. And it should add, if you haven't played Bolingbrook Golf Club, this isn't some dog track. It's a good course, kind of a link-style course. And, I think it's like the greens fees, well, it's taxpayer underwritten. But, this is a course that you would pay $150, $200 to play on any given day. So the premium with the package plus the good work that you're doing, there is such a thing as a free lunch. And we're pleased to be joined by the CEO of 100 Club of Chicago, Joe Ahern again. Joe, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thanks so much, Dan. Great to be here.
So just to reset again, the work that 100 Club of Chicago does for the families who lose an officer in the line of duty.
Well, the 100 Club steps in right away, Dan. There's no waiting. We are there within the first 12 hours, usually to provide financial assistance to the family and then college education for all the kids. And we've given away over $10 million over the last 50 years. 265 families have, paid the ultimate sacrifice. And so we're there. Right now we have 21 kids in college, and we have 65 more sons and daughters that will be coming of age in the future. Sadly, Commander Bauer had a 13-year-old young daughter who will, when she graduates from high school, will be going off to college. But I'm grateful to AM 560 and the golf outing and all of our friends and supporters of the 100 Club that I hope they call in today and get a foursome, because it allows us to continue to do the work that we do. So thank you to AM 560 and to you and Amy.
And how is Commander Bauer's family doing, his wife and daughter?
Well, it's so difficult. I mean, it's still so early, and thank goodness Erin has, a good family connections around her sisters, and that can help her, guide her through this, and we're there too, and it's difficult time. It's you never get over it.
And we're also talking too, I know we focus on police, and that's appropriate, but local, state, and federal law enforcement in this region. So you're talking about the alphabet soup of other law enforcement agencies who also put their lives on the line every day in the line of duty too, and deal with some bad hombres. Think about DEA or ATF. And so I just wanted to make that point as well.
No, and also fire too. All of
fire.
our firefighters. There's about 45,000 first responders and firefighters in Cook and Lake County alone. And, sadly, in terms of fire, Captain Herbie Johnson in 2012, in November of 2012, lost his life, running into a burning building. And he had six or seven brothers and sisters. They're all police officers and firefighters. And he had two sons, Tommy and Mickey, and they were both in the Marine Corps. And now Tommy's in the police department, and Mickey's going into the fire academy. When I tell you that these are great families of generations upon generations of family members that give back and help and serve and protect us, that's what this is all about. And we just hope that the viewers and friends of the 100 Club, supporters of the 100 Club, will call in and come out and support this golf outing.
And why is it called the 100 Club, and how it started back in 1950?
Yeah, it was actually in Detroit, Michigan. A Pontiac car dealer read about a widow who was going to lose her home. Police officer had been shot and killed. He went and paid off her mortgage, paid all of her debt. And a month later, another police officer was tragically killed. And this same Pontiac car dealer reached out to two friends and said, we got to help these families. So they reached out to 100 family friends and said, we got to start something to help these family members. And so it has progressed from there. And now there's about 125 clubs around the country that support police and fire. Ours started in August of 1966. So this August, it'll be 52 years that we have been providing for all these families. And with 265 family members, it's averaged about 5 a year that we have tragically lost.
And so during that time, for the Chicago chapter, you've provided how much in terms of total assistance to these families?
Over $10 million. And yes.
And you need our help. So if you want to help out the 100 Club, if you want to promote your business, if you want to go out and enjoy a great day of golf, call our business benefactor hotline, 312-363-6680. That's 312-363-6680. Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Condi Rice says it's not the end of the world if we pull out of the Iran deal. It might be if we don't. We'll talk to Michael Rubin, resident scholar at the American Enterprise Institute, about BBE and Israeli intelligence's revelations at 8:38.
But first, into the newsroom we go. Here's Mike Scott.
71 degrees, partly sunny skies. Republican lawmakers with control of the Iowa State House and governor's mansion fast-tracking a bill this morning that would ban most abortions once a fetal heartbeat is detected. That's usually around 6 weeks of pregnancy. A new report claims the special counsel in the Russia investigation raised the possibility of issuing a subpoena for President Trump if he doesn't volunteer to talk to investigators. Texas and 6 other states are suing the Trump administration over the DACA program.
Basically ordered the stopping of the rescinding of DACA, and actually ordered the continuation not only of renewals, but adding new people to the DACA program.
Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton. Dangerous weather, including a chance of more tornadoes. threatening at least a half dozen states. Storms, flooding, tornadoes possible from Oklahoma to Wisconsin today. U.S. troops will stay in South Korea regardless of whether Seoul officially ends the Korean War with the North. Nearly 30,000 American soldiers are in South Korea. That's part of an agreement after the shooting stopped in 1953. While relations have been improving between the North and South after an historic summit between their two leaders, South Korea says the American presence in their country is a separate issue and not related to a possible peace treaty. Crews are cleaning up after a recycling center fire in Forest View at Lakeshore Recycling Systems. Officials say the number of students sickened at a Chicago area high school after a recent prom event at the Shedd Aquarium is now 111. And preparations are underway to build a public library at the planned Obama Presidential Center in Chicago. The Obama Foundation announcing yesterday it's partnered with the city and Chicago Public Library to place a new branch at the center when it opens. Ironically, the announcement comes just 2 weeks before the foundation will go before the city's Plan Commission to try and get approval to build that campus. Rockies beat the Cubs 3-1. Cardinals over the White Sox 3-2. The News is a service of Staples. Staples knows running out of ink is no way to do business. Help keep your business working and your printers printing. Go to Staples for a huge selection of ink and toner and find your ink in stock every time and at a low price every day, so you can meet every deadline. Staples, it's pro time. 8:33 is our time. We'll have a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Mike Gallagher loves the hypocrisy of the left.
This bastion of progressivism, Starbucks, where people who sit around for hours upon hours. You're going to tell me two black guys can't sit at a table without being bothered? And I love every bit of the consequences that pretentious, overpriced place is now having to pay.
The Mike Gallagher Show, weekdays at 9, right before Dennis Prager at 11 on AM 560. The Answer.
Get your truly free credit score and free credit monitoring from Credit Karma. Download the Credit Karma app today. Credit Karma. Get knowing.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest growing independently owned business bank. It's a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
Hi, I'm Dave Geiselhart, president and owner of Home Trust Mortgage and customer of Signature Bank. When the large banks turned away from the mortgage lending industry during the financial crisis, I turned to locally owned Signature Bank. Signature Bank stepped in and helped me expand our business at a time when the larger banks wouldn't. Today, I'm proud to say Home Trust Mortgage has been able to expand our business in Illinois and the Great Lakes region. We couldn't have done that without the help of Signature Bank. Signature Bank truly helps Chicago businesses like mine grow and thrive. That's why we also became personal customers and shareholders of Signature Bank, Chicago's business bank.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. To learn more about turning your business vision into reality, visit signaturebank.bank. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
8:35. Let's get an update on the roads. We do that in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center and the very latest with Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. The Tri-State Tollway has southbound delays from the Adams Tollway to the Bensonville Bridge, northbound from 95th to 31st, from the Reagan Tollway to North Avenue. But Adams Tollway a bit tight from Lee to the Tri-State. Veterans Memorial slow going. Boughton most of the way to St. Charles after the Army Trail toll to 290. Eden's 21 minutes Lake Cook to Montrose out on 34th. Kennedy. Inbound delay starting at Foster. It's improved. It's 55 minutes O'Hare to downtown. 38 from Montrose, 40 in the Express. Outbound 21 minutes to Montrose, 42 to the airport. About Eisenhower, an hour and 5 minutes, 390 to downtown. 45 minutes from Manheim. Outbound 58 minutes to 390. Stevenson runs an hour and 6 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Outbound 50 minutes. The Ryan 40 minutes, 95th to downtown. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center. Cloudy, breezy. An afternoon shower or heavy thunderstorm is possible in a high of 82. Heavy thunderstorms overnight as well. in the forecast and a low of 64. Currently 71. Next news coming up at 9. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Empowered Investing, the show dedicated to investors. Saturdays at noon on AM 560, The Answer.
When you've got questions, he always has an answer. It's Sean Hannity this afternoon at 2, right before Joe Walsh at 5 on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. So after that tour de force from Bibi on Monday evening, a presentation about the...
Iran lied.
Well, yeah,
I mean,
but,
he sure did his homework.
But, well, the special operation to get what they obtained and then to unveil it to the world after they clearly already apprised America about it was rather remarkable. And it's been interesting, too, the last 48 hours, you see all of the old Obama apparatchiks making the rounds on the cable news to, like I saw that Ernest Moniz, remember him, the energy secretary who looks like a 17th century composer? So he's out there flacking, and they're mischaracterizing that we knew this is nothing new, and the nuclear deal was to prevent Iran from nuclearization, when in point of fact, as the Israeli ambassador to the U.S., Ron Dermer, said with Brett Baer the other night, in fact, it paved the way.
If we pretend that everything is fine, Iran will just walk into becoming a nuclear weapon state. And this is the foremost sponsor of terrorism in the world. And this deal did not block them from getting a bomb. It actually paves their way to an entire nuclear arsenal.
And in terms of the information that was recovered and presented for public consumption, at least conceptually, that this is old news, everybody knew this. Ron Dermer said this.
There's hard evidence there that Iran has a military nuclear program and that it falsified all their reports to the IAEA, the International Atomic Energy Agency. What Netanyahu did today, he did not present simply a smoking gun. He presented a smoking bomb. And I think all the world should take notice of it, and we are now sharing that information. We shared it with U.S. intelligence a number of weeks ago. We are now sharing that information with the rest of intelligence agencies around the world in terms of our allies.
For more on this, we're pleased to be joined by our friend Michael Rubin, a former Pentagon official, now a resident scholar for the American Enterprise Institute. Michael, thanks for joining us again. Appreciate it.
Hey, thanks. Hey, thanks, Dan. Thanks, Amy.
Give us your sense of how significant was what Israeli intelligence uncovered and the decision-making to reveal it to the world the way that Netanyahu chose to.
Well, it's extremely significant because it belies much of what the Iranians have been saying during their negotiations on up to the present day. For example, Iran's foreign minister, Mohammad Javad Zarif, with whom Secretary of State John Kerry had negotiated, had said Iran never had a military nuclear program, so that's a flat-out lie. The supreme leader of Iran had supposedly issued a fatwa against the development of nuclear weapons, and that's what President Obama had used to justify going into negotiations. Well, here that shows that Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei is a liar. And then when it comes to people saying, hey, there's really nothing new here, well, actually, it seems that there is a great deal new with regard to Iran's metal work with uranium metal and some of the aspects of processing, warhead design, and so forth that they had never declared to the IAEA. But there's one more thing which I don't think has gotten enough discussion, which I really think should be a wake-up call. You remember, Dan, how in 2007 there was a national intelligence estimate that said that Iran had stopped working on their nuclear weapon in 2003? Mm-hmm. But when the IAEA was saying, hey, this was all known to us, what the IAEA said is, we've seen no evidence that Iran has been working on a nuclear bomb since 2009, which means back in 2007, the U.S. intelligence community had gotten it flat out wrong as well.
Yeah, interesting. That is a good point I didn't pick up on.
So what do you think? What are you sensing from President Trump? What is he going to do here with the Iran deal?
Well, Amy, I think the clock is ticking with regard to whether or not he's going to recertify U.S. participation in the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action. Now, what a lot of people get wrong is they think that somehow when President Trump makes his decision on May 12th, that is simply with regard to whether Iran has been whether the JCPOA is working or not. But actually, what the decision that President Trump is going to be making is based on, if you remember, something called the Corker-Cardin Compromise. That whole Iran deal wasn't passed as a treaty. It wasn't ratified by the Senate. Rather, only about a third of senators agreed to not, decided that they wouldn't disapprove. And therefore, you've got a situation in which the president, as a result of that compromise, has to say, do we have faith that this is in U.S. interest? Do we have faith that Iran is abiding by this deal? And it's going to be very hard Trump's going to be very hard placed to reach any compromise. I think actually the pressure's on the Europeans now to try to fix some of the gaps in this deal.
Now, there are skeptics out there, as you know, good and well, Michael, about Israel, people that are not fans of our relationship with Israel, including most of the D.C. press corps, remarkably. And so there are suggestions, somewhat hushed tones, that this has a lot to do with Bibi trying to kind of wag the dog away from his domestic, legal, and political problems. This is Israel trying to draw us into a war with Iran and manipulate President Trump. How do you respond to some of those conspiracy theories?
Well, I think that's just what they are, conspiracy theories. Number one, when it comes to this idea of wagging the dog, look, there's always a security crisis in Israel, and the fact of the matter is, in the past, the independent Israeli judiciary has acted against political leaders, Ehud Olmert, Moshe Katsav, who was Israel's president, regardless of what the security situation is. Just like in the United States, by nature of being a democracy with separation of powers, none of this would influence the judiciary. Second of all, when it comes to going into a war with Iran, I don't think that's what Israel wants. I don't think that's what anyone wants. But what the Israelis are saying, and I think what Donald Trump also believes, is if you're going to try to have a nuclear arms accord or any sort of agreement, it's got to be followed. And if you allow one side to cheat and they don't follow that, that's not the path to peace. That's the path to a disaster.
Ambassador Dermer, when he was on with Brett Barry, played a couple clips. He also suggested that some of the money that Iran got up front on the unfreezing of assets, the midnight drop, that was just a signing bonus. The real money is them being able to restart oil exports, and that's a $35 billion a year infusion of capital. And so, this is the problem. This is another one of the problems with the Iran nuclear deal.
Well, Dan, this is one of the things that frustrated me when it was being negotiated. The negotiators in Obama's echo chamber had basically said, hey, look how Iran increased the centrifuges during the Bush administration. That shows that coercion doesn't work. We've got to negotiate. But what Obama didn't say, or perhaps didn't realize, is between 1998 and 2005, the European Union had decided to triple its trade with Iran. The price of oil increased fivefold, and Iran took 70% of those hard currency earnings and invested them in their ballistic missile and, at the time, still covert nuclear weapons program. And so it should come as no surprise that when sanctions collapse on Iran, when Iran joins the international market, they're not going to better the lives, use the money to better the lives for their own people. They're going to invest in their special projects. They don't have to be responsive to their people because it's not a democracy. It's a dictatorship. The supreme leader actually believes that he's the deputy of the Messiah on earth. He doesn't care what the ordinary people say, and one of the reasons he's not afraid of the ordinary people is he's got the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps to sort of serve as to insulate him from whatever the Iranian street may think.
Well, speaking of dictators, President Trump should be announcing soon where and when he will meet with Kim Jong-un. Is it too early to say that President Trump should be winning a Nobel Peace Prize for these efforts and for this North Korean initiative?
Well, you certainly struck a nerve with me, Amy, because I've got a long-term grievance about the Nobel Peace Prizes. Through all the Nobel Prizes, they're given for a life's work. Usually when the person is in their 70s or 80s, but with the Nobel Peace Prize, it's always been aspirational. I'd say give no one the Nobel Peace Prize unless 40 years have passed and we can see whether what they did actually brought peace. Otherwise, we're going to have disasters like, for example, Yasser Arafat getting the Peace Prize,
that's a good
President
example.
Obama getting the Peace Prize.
Yeah, Al Gore getting the Peace Prize.
And I'm also dubious about the whole negotiation with North Korea, to be quite honest.
Elaborate on your concern there.
Well, first of all, when North Korea promises to denuclearize, I mean, back in 1992, that was actually the agreement they signed with the George H.W. Bush administration. It's not a breakthrough for them to agree to or to implement something they agreed to more than a quarter century ago. And the fact of the matter is, North Korea has been very aspirational. We've seen that their nuclear test site has collapsed. They may simply be wanting a pause, but I don't see any fundamental change in their ideology. And so I'd be very, very cautious, just as I was cautious when President Obama decided he wanted to go all in for negotiations with Iran. At the very least, well before there's any trust, we've got to verify, and I haven't seen any indication the North Koreans are willing to do that.
Let me ask you a predicate question on this. As somebody who's obviously an expert in this space and has worked at the Pentagon, I mean, do foreign service officers and senior level personnel actually believe these sort of beauty pageant answers about world peace that you hear from politicians? Do they actually buy into it? Do they really forget who they're dealing with when you go from Kim Jong-il to Kim Jong-un, or you go from one Ayatollah to the other?
Well, you know, we learn about multiculturalism in terms of appreciating each other's differences, essentially being able to walk into a sushi bar and order a mojito. Fundamentally, however, I don't think our diplomats fully understand the ideological basis of some of these differences, and that, fundamentally, they're only willing to see the good, not the bad. And at the same time, if you're a hammer, everything looks like a nail. If you're a diplomat, all process seems good. And what they don't realize is for some of these countries, what we see as diplomacy, as negotiating how to get to yes, is actually an asymmetric warfare strategy to tie our hands while other advancements are made.
I guess New York Times celebrating Karl Marx's 200th birthday tells me everything I need to know. He is Michael Rubin, resident scholar for the American Enterprise Institute, author of a number of books, including Dancing with the Devil and Kurdistan Rising. Michael, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Hey, thanks, Dan. Thanks, Amy.
And he joined us on our Turnkey.pro answer line.
Before you see it on TV, share it on Facebook, or read about it in the paper, hear it here first. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Chicagoland, Dan Proft here, and I'm here with my guy, Ryan Kelly, at the HomeLoanExpert.com. It's real simple with Ryan. He's one of us, and he gets it. Ryan, thanks for joining us. Look, the housing market is hot right now, very hot in Chicago, top of the market. What does someone need to do if they're going to buy a house this year?
You know, what a great question, Dan. I appreciate letting me jump on with you, and you're exactly right. The housing market is hot. It's really hot. And if you're even considering buying a house this year, you need to get pre-approved, and you need to be pre-approved by a strong mortgage lender. And I mean that. There's a lot of other lenders. There's a lot of banks out there. But when you get pre-approved by the HomeLoanExpert.com, that pre-approval is like gold. Heck, we even print them on gold paper. They're so valuable. And if you are considering buying a house, know one thing. You're not the only person out there watching the same neighborhoods, the same school districts, waiting for those listings. There's a lot of other people sitting on the sideline. Get pre-approved today at thehomeloanexpert.com. The Home Loan Expert LLC, Illinois Residential Mortgage Licensee.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
I'm Mark Gastineau. I played in the NFL for 10 years. I was diagnosed with CTE, with dementia, Alzheimer's, and Parkinson's. The fruits and vegetables that we take from Balance of Nature is the best thing that we could ever do. And I'm calling in now to order extra because of my wife has been taking mine because she sees a difference in me. It is a wonderful thing that Balance of Nature is doing. I hear the testimonies on the radio, but I'm a testimony for myself. And the fruits and vegetables, if I don't take them every single day, my day is not going to go the same. So God bless you, and thank you for what you've done for my wife and I.
When you call, use discount code CHICAGO, and we'll take 35% off your first month's order and ship it to you free. Call 800-246-8751 or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
Millwright work is often technical and requires a high degree of precision. The pros at Vans Industrial are skilled mechanics that can perform any type of millwright work, including installation and maintenance of your factory equipment and machinery. For your machine repair needs, look no further than Vans Industrial.
Hi, I'm Dave Van Camp, president of Vans Industrial. Vans Industrial is an industrial millwright contractor that can install new mechanical systems or repair existing systems. Our services include repair of bearings, shafts, shiv alignments, as well as installation of conveyors and bucket elevators. Our team of trained mechanics will respond to your emergency calls 24/7, keeping your systems operational. We're here to help you.
Call 833-VANS-IND for a free inspection of your facility. That's 833-VANS-IND. Interested in what else they do? Visit vansindustrial.com. That's VANS Industrial.com. Quality craftsmanship since 1964.
Looking to secure financing on a new home or refinance your existing home? Then you need to call Team Hochberg. Supporting veterans is our passion. That's why we support Veteran Roasters, a Chicago coffee roaster that hires homeless and chronically unemployed veterans. If you'd like to help create jobs for homeless veterans, visit veteranroasters.com and purchase a 12-ounce bag of coffee roasted and ground by once homeless and unemployed veterans. The coffee's delicious and the profits are reinvested in hiring additional homeless veterans. Use promo code Team Hochberg to save 50% off the second bag you purchase. If you're a veteran securing a VA loan and would like to work with a local lender who supports veterans, call Team Hochberg now at 312-751-1333 or visit am560david.com. Team Hochberg has helped thousands of AM560 listeners, but we can't help if you don't call 312-751-1333 or visit am560david.com. Pearl Mortgage, an equal housing lender, Illinois residential mortgage licensee 4358 and MLS 19186.
Shoot Point Blank is Chicago's leading shooting range and firearms store. Featuring 20 climate-controlled shooting lanes, complete retail store, and firearm education classes for all experience levels. Whether you're a new or expert shooter, now you can experience the Shoot Point Blank difference and see for yourself why so many people are talking about Shoot Point Blank.
I can tell you, I was impressed as soon as I walked through the door. The employees were really helpful, very patient, and knowledgeable, too.
My wife and I had a wonderful experience. We felt very comfortable and informed.
Brett was very friendly and respectful, and he answered all my questions. Because I'm new to pistols, I'm grateful he was patient and helped me decide what to buy for my new firearm.
For a huge selection of new and used firearms, ammo, and state-of-the-art indoor shooting range, visit them in Hodgkins, Mokina, Naperville, or Merrillville. Or check out shootpointblank.com. Experience the difference. Shoot Point Blank.
Hey guys, Ken here from the hit podcast Today's Growth, now heard regularly in 18 countries. What percentage of you listening to this commercial often say to yourself, what could I do to make more money, or how can we increase our business? I'm guessing that's most of you. Have you ever heard knock on the door and it'll open? Well, my friends at Income Store have doors you can open that can help you or your family make more money, or doors that lead to an increase in revenue for any business of any size. Income Store has two main doors on their website. These doors lead to over 2,000 revenue-generating ideas and products. Although a few of their products are pricey, 90+% of their growth formulas are delivered free or nearly free. Income Store's growth products and ideas have been publicized and featured on Forbes, Inc., USA Today, and recently the Biography Channel. Could your household or business use a revenue shot in the backside? Are you sick of your checkbook talking back and saying no? If so, you need to knock on the doors of IncomeStore.com. That's IncomeStore.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
Today's the day. Today is the day. Right now is the moment where you can join us Thursday, June 14th at the Bolingbrook Golf Club for the 100 Club of Chicago golf outing. All the stars will be there. Amy Jacobson, Joe Walsh.
Yeah.
All
Dan
the stars.
Proft.
Yeah, wow.
The Dan Proft.
I'll
I
be
don't
there
know
to
if you're
caddy for Amy.
familiar with your work.
Amy also this year new wrinkle, because we did this last year at the 100 Club of Chicago.
Yeah.
Amy will have a kissing booth for all those who call in to reserve their foursome right now.
Oh, right now. And you better
Yeah.
call right now. 312-363-6680. 312-363-6680. What it is for a foursome, it's $1,196. Get a full day of golf, a 7:30 a.m. shotgun start or 2:30 p.m. shotgun start. Free lunch is included with that. But you'd become a business benefactor. And what that means is, as a way of saying thank you, we will give you 25 one-minute commercials that will air right here on AM 560. A way for you to take your business to the next level, to promote your business. It's the best deal in Chicago advertising. It's valued at more than $3,000.
That's
it's $1,196 plus the proceeds go to benefit the 100 Club of Chicago.
That business benefactor program you mentioned, that's how Tom Sadeko over Precision Payroll started.
Yep.
Now he's like number 7 on the Forbes 400 list or something.
I know.
Yeah, and it's all because of that. The 100 Club of Chicago serves the families of those who have lost an officer, a family member, a spouse, a parent in the line of duty in the Chicagoland area. Joining us to discuss that is Joe Ahern, the CEO of the 100 Club of Chicago. Joe, thanks for being with us.
Oh, thanks, Dan. Thanks for having me.
Any message you want to send out to the FOP, the firefighters out there, guys driving around in the squads?
Boy, I want my good friend Kevin Graham at Local 7 to get all the guys out there, our police officers that are out there that love golf, to come out and support the 100 Club and golf with us on Flag Day. And and Jim Tracy, who's the president of Local 2 and the Firefighters Union, get all those firefighters out there to come out and golf with us. We're going to have a great time, and you'll get to be with Dan and Amy and Joe Walsh and support the 100 Club.
And it's really important. I mean, people don't understand once they lose a loved one, whether it be a firefighter, going into a burning building, or a paramedic or a police officer, you're there within, not only the first 24 hours, but the first 12 hours. And those are needed funds to start planning a funeral. And people forget about that. You don't get death benefits right away, and a lot of people need help.
That's the way it should be, Amy. I mean, these police officers and firefighters put their life on the line, and they don't have to wait. Their family members don't have to fill out forms or get in line to get benefits from the 100 Club, thanks to the people that support us, that allows us to do the work that we do. We're so grateful to AM 560, to you, Amy, and Dan, and the entire team here, Joe in the afternoon, that allow us to be able to continue to do the hard work. We've got 21 kids in college. We have 265 families that have paid the ultimate sacrifice over the last 50 years, and we need to continue to raise money, and this is the way we do it, so that we can continue to support these families who have paid the ultimate sacrifice.
And $1,196 for a foursome at a golf outing, guys know. I mean, this is not this, and what you get both in terms of playing a good course, not a cow pasture. Bolingbrook Golf Club's good course. Number 2, you're helping families of fallen officers, firefighters, as you said, Joe. And number 3, you get the advertising deal.
Yeah, I mean, really, it's the best advertising deal.
No-brainer.
No-brainer. $1,196.
Do it!
No, we need you to do it now. That's a $3,000 value, and the proceeds go to the 100 Club of Chicago, and they definitely need your help. We wish that we didn't have to do this, but it is so good to know. I mean, I feel better as a Chicago citizen, as an Illinoisan, that club is there to help our fallen firefighters and police officers.
And you'll be thinking about that tomorrow. Tomorrow's a big day in Springfield. We talked about it earlier, but mention that.
Yeah, it sure is. Tomorrow we will be honoring and paying respect to all the police officers who have paid the ultimate sacrifice here in the state of Illinois. So I hope you come out on Flag Day and golf with us at AM 560. It'll get you into heaven.
There you go.
Wow.
That's a close right there. Thursday, June 14th at Bolingbrook Golf Club. Foursomes, $1,196. Amy explained to you what the business benefactor program entails. 312-363-6680 is the phone number.
Again, 312-363-6680. I know a number of you are on the way to work this morning. When you get in, talk to your marketing director or your boss and say, hey, we need to get involved in this. Some companies quickly that signed up. Nexus Employment signed up. Waukegan Roofing signed up. Storlock. The list goes on and on. But today is the last day. You've got to do it right now. 312-363-6680. Joe Ahern, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you,
And thank
Amy.
you for the good work that you do.
Yeah, good stuff.
So much.
It's now almost 9 o'clock and time to check in with headlines here at home and around the world. Here is Mike Scott.
A 4-year-old shot on Chicago's south side. Rockies cooled off the Cubs. WIND Chicago News Time, 9 o'clock.
Is the special counsel in the Russia probe going to